Hello, I'm Jamie, and welcome to Sci-Fi-Vision Presents Talisman Transmissions for June 15th. This is our review show today as opposed to the deep dive. Missed our deep dive, you can restream that, of course. That was last night. We have just a quick rundown of the week. We do have Fandom Access tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you join us then. And following that, we have our watch party for the Widow's Bay finale. Our Widow's Bay show is Thursday nights. But please make sure you like the video, subscribe to Sci-Fi-Vision, hype if you can. I am pretty sure it's going to be this week that Jamie McGuire, who plays Smiley, is coming. We're setting up a day, so that'll be very soon. So stay tuned for that. And my interview with Pega, as well as the second part of the Julia Doyle interview, will be up after the, well, no, I take that back. The one with Julia Doyle part 2 will be up after episode 9. Pega's will be up after the finale. And well, somebody has their TV on.
No, sorry. I dropped my phone and all these videos started playing.
That's okay. The other thing, and this is good news I just found out today, tomorrow I am talking to John Griffin, Jeff Pinkner, and Jack Bender. It is a junket interview, so it's not going to be super long, but at least I will get to talk to them about the season. It'll probably be a finale interview, but that will be coming soon as well. So everybody has that to look forward to. If you're not a member of our Discord, please make sure you join. You can get our schedule, all the interviews, all that good stuff. And yeah, this is episode 8. We're almost done with the season, guys. Pretty far along. You heard me talk at length yesterday. What did you think, AJ? Why Karen's doing whatever she's doing? What did you think of the episode?
Karen's booing.
I'm booing because the season is almost over.
Oh, okay.
You know, I actually feel the opposite. I'm glad the season's almost over because it means we're that much closer to season 5, which means we're that much closer to all the answers. And then I can tell certain chatters that he's not even here, so I can't even make jokes.
He's wrong.
Yeah. He's not here. I'll say it again later. Hey, Kimberly. No, it was another good episode, you know. I do have one complaint though.
Just one? I have more than one.
All right. I don't think I really. My complaint is, where the fuck was Julie?
Yes, that's my complaint too.
Episode 9 better be a story walking.
It's really
episode.
The unrealized potential of the season, right? Like they throw in like Julie story walking, and
it's like a tease.
Yeah,
it's like a tease. Like it's gonna play a part, but it's just like it's like a tease, and it's like that's all I want to see now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the episode, Karen?
I thought it was pretty good. It was a transitional episode, and after the excitement of last week, we had to have an episode where we move things around and set them in motion for the end game, season end game, maybe not series, right? Mm-hmm. So I thought that it had some good emotional beats that maybe don't always, particularly when we talk about Tabitha. Like I thought there were some good emotional moments, but she's not making sense as a logical human in this episode. I think Boyd, the person I wanted to pop one this week was Boyd, who is becoming frustrating also. But the things that Boyd does that are frustrating to me feel earned and real. And the things that Tabitha did this week that were frustrating felt just like the writers letting the character down. I don't want to say bad. I don't want to say bad writing the night before you talk to the powers that be.
Well, I'm talking to them. You're not.
Well,
so.
when we get to that point, I'd like to hear more about what you mean by that.
Yeah, I'm curious what you mean.
I might agree with you. I might not. But I will say this: I'm kind of done with Boyd.
Did you guys like the last episode better than this one, though? Because some people like this one better, which surprised me. I thought last week was better than this one. Not that I didn't like this one, but
I mean. When almost every episode is good, it's like something's really got to blow me away for me to be like, that was the best episode of the season. And I don't think either of these 2 episodes were the best episode of the season. I don't remember which one I think it was, but I don't think it was either of these two.
Or maybe it didn't happen yet.
Yeah. Okay.
I think people like this week better than last week. That's interesting because, in some ways I feel like, and I'm not speaking about anybody individually watching this right now or any of our regular chatters out in the world. A lot of times people prefer the action. The action episodes are always the ones that get ranked highly over the more character-y episodes. I was thinking today, while I was thinking today about the characters who really have had an arc and development, and the characters who really haven't. And Boyd is one that has had he's got an arc throughout the 4 seasons. And I was trying to think of who does and who doesn't. And Boyd, yeah, I mean, I guess Boyd is plot armored, but to me, Boyd's the one this week, right? Boyd's the one this week that needs to be get a grip on himself.
Yes.
I think Boyd eventually gets the Jack Shephard treatment.
Yeah, probably. He probably does. Anyway, Jimmy, you asked, do I think this was, which some people like this better? I don't know if I like this better. I can't really compare them. I don't know that I can compare that kind of action-y episode to this sort of more smaller moments and characters separated. We talked last week about how much the characters were talking to each other, and this week they're just kind of talking at each other and opposite each other.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I liked the episode. I just still liked 7 better, but not everybody did. Okay.
I liked it.
But yeah,
right.
I don't know.
Speaking about
This might have been the greatest shot of the episode, where we open on dead Roger's doll face. That was kind of awesome.
Yes.
Poor Roger. We barely knew you again.
The totem through his chest.
I still say those look like teeth, not all stitches, but
It doesn't matter.
I know. I'm just showing you. I'm just saying. All right. So yeah, is Roger dead? They're going to burn his body and make sure he's dead this time.
Yeah.
That is Boyd's suggestion. They talk about the fact that people are arguing there because, as Donna says, now everybody knows that, the totems, or not the totems, the talisman won't protect them from everything in the town. And if they hadn't intended to tell everybody about this thing, I mean, I know they told everybody about the whole reincarnation, but if they hadn't intended to tell everybody about the nightmares in the forest, they kind of were, it was told to them. They didn't have a choice. So now everybody knows about.
Are you kidding me? Hey, Patty, what happened to your face? Well.
Okay, that's a good point. But I'm just saying, I mean, it kind of was done for them. They didn't have to explain it and say, hey, yeah, there were these crazy dolls that killed Roger. So yeah, people are getting scared, they're getting antsy, and they're arguing, because you can see in the background, these 2 red shirts are arguing. But the other part of this scene is that Sophia goes to Boyd and she's like, did the totems work? When you went to know
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. I mean, look, I get it, but at the same time, it was kind of annoying, and it's like we all know that she knew it; they didn't.
She's my least favorite character on the show.
She's like, that's too bad.
All she does is walk around looking creepy, and she has to turn back into Man in Yellow to do anything interesting.
Well, that's because there was a reason for that, I felt.
I know, but Sophia, all she does is walk around being kind of weirdly creepy, and no one picks up on it, right?
Well, that's because a lot of the stuff she does, nobody sees but us.
Okay, are you trying to talk me out of my least favorite character?
No. I'm not trying to talk you out of your least favorite character. I agree that she doesn't do much, but I'm just saying you have to remember, not everybody sees those creepy grins and sneers that we see.
Okay. All right,
yeah,
fair.
Everybody sees the innocent Sophia. I do also feel, though, like at some point, somebody's got to notice, right? I mean, I think we all feel like that as viewers, but you are right. They're not seeing everything we're seeing. So I think that it's annoying people where maybe it shouldn't be if you really think it out and think it through. But yeah, I mean, we want somebody to see it. We've talked about that before. Hopefully somebody soon will figure it out, what's going on at some point. I mean, we're getting near the end of the season, right? They have to pretty soon. Just Me prefers Man in Yellow over Sophia. That's fine. But we got
I think-
both this
I think
episode.
everyone
Well,
does.
I think everyone. It's a different dynamic though. Man in Yellow is menacing, whereas Sophia is playing this docile little creature that nobody suspects. You know what I mean? I feel like if Man in Yellow was, if it wasn't for Victor and Man in Yellow was in town, I do think that people would be going, "What's up with
Okay,
that guy?"
but I'm not trying to say I like her less in comparison. Sophia's just boring to me.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I agree.
See, I thought after last week, like to me, last week made her a lot less boring because she was starting to do things. I mean,
Right?
she caught
Yes, last week, and now this week she's boring again.
Okay, well, she's flying under the radar. I do want to see her cause more havoc and quit just being her, little docile self. I want to see her, I guess.
She's stirring the pot, but
not stirring the pot, but stirring it more out in the open. Like I want to see her do
More active, like last week.
like start
Yes,
a fight. Like, oh, you mean like? All right.
So,
Anyway,
all right, moving on.
Yes. All right. So then, okay. So they're talking to Dawn. Boyd says she should be in bed, but she can't because everybody's freaking out. All that justice for Sophia. So then Ellis comes in. This conversation gets cut short because Ellis comes in and he wants Donna and Boyd to go upstairs and talk about what's going on. So once again, we have at least some characters sharing information. I do like they keep talking to each other. I mean, they need to like kick Sophia out of the room, but yeah, I do like that they're talking to each other. Fletcher's happy because he thinks his theory
his theory's still wrong.
I don't know what his theory is. So anyway,
yeah, we'll talk about it a little bit more when we get towards the end of the episode. But yeah, it depends whether Fandom was right, I guess, or not. But yeah, he calls them up, or he takes them upstairs so she can tell him what's going on. We also have Acosta who asks about Roger, and Boyd says to burn the body. I love Samantha, but I wish they'd give Acosta more to do. Like Acosta still has done nothing this season, really.
Yeah.
Which agitates me because I keep waiting for her to do something. I feel like.
You know what I don't like is she had the ambulance moment, and ever since then she's just been kind of like, I'll go look through some boxes. Hey, what do you want me to do with this dead body? Oh, burn it. Okay, yeah. Oh, look, I found a Viewmaster. It's like they drugged her. It's like they gave her fucking
suicidal up to like a little bit ago. So
look,
I can maybe put a little bit off on that she's depressed, maybe, but yeah, she needs to do more.
No, the problem is there are too many characters for everyone to have an interesting thing to do.
Yeah, there's that too.
Some people, so that the others can have more lines.
Well, yeah, I know, I agree. And that's what I was talking, I think it was Jen I was talking to the other day. The thing is like we complain because I can't wait to see Acosta do something, so much talent going to waste with her character. We all complain because they keep bringing characters in for like teeny tiny amounts of screen time, not enough to see them do anything. And I kind of feel like I would rather them wait and devote to the characters we need to see and then go back to them and get more time, individually when they're ready for it. But the thing is, I know how much like we complained constantly with Fear the Walking Dead because you wouldn't see a character for like a month. And so it's like there's the balance that you got to make somewhere in there to make people happy. You can't ignore the characters, but you can't, bringing them in for little tiny bits that don't make a lot of sense. I don't want people to die, but the more I talk about the show, the more I start to realize we need to thin the herd a little bit, just because there's too many people to have on the show.
I feel like the next 2 episodes are going to start doing that.
Well, it's the finale, so.
What do you mean? This was episode 8.
No, I mean the finale's coming up, so it's going to be
right. But I'm saying the next 2. With Acosta. Hold on a second, Karen. With Acosta, I wish her and similar characters that they gave them some kind of storyline that put them off the screen logically and for a good reason, rather than like I feel like they've totally changed Acosta's character. Like she's too docile now. She went from pissed off to
she went from too much to
she went from one extreme to the other too quickly, and I just feel like I would have rather had her after the whole ambulance thing be like, you know what, fuck you guys. Where's this fucking hut or a fucking cave or something? I'm going. Leave me alone. Well, I'm saying.
No,
I'm
you're
always
right.
in a mood.
That's why I said my only thing I can say is
No.
that she was suicidal, so maybe
Put
she's
give these people something to, like, not for nothing. What they're doing with them going through the stuff, looking for evidence, for information about the Man in Yellow. That's perfect for characters that you want to put to the side, that we don't need to worry about, that we don't need to think about. But with Acosta, I just feel like they changed the character overnight.
Well, I mean, she was being annoying. Petty's right with you there, Jamie and me. Petty got a kill list, which includes Victor and Henry. Goodbye, Victor. Goodbye, Henry.
No.
I think
Henry, I don't know, but not Victor.
I think this episode certainly was setting up deaths, with the major focus that we'll get to later on Boyd, being unwilling to accept that people might have to die, and other characters pushing him to accept that you might lose people. And I feel like, are you talking to us, audience, to accept that a bunch of people might get killed in the next two episodes? That would be fine.
I hope so.
You know what I keep thinking? I'm looking at this picture and I keep thinking it's not a main character, but they could have killed Patty instead of done what they did. But Patty's like awesome, right? And she's like another character now they've almost added, because we didn't even know who she was. And now
Nikki and Paulo.
Huh?
I said she's Nikki, and her and Roger were Nikki and Paulo.
Yeah, they are. But I like Patty. She's funny. And she, as Jason pointed out last night, at least she has a seat now. They're not making her sit on the floor, which I didn't even notice. But yeah, they're gonna go talk to Automa. Then we have this. What, Karen?
They go upstairs to talk to Fatima.
Yes. So she explained what happened to Kenny, and she did say, so now we know without a shadow of a doubt, she did say she saw through his eyes. I know we had talked about that last week.
Yeah, and, that last week, like, was it? Yeah.
So now we have an answer to that. Boyd's kind of questioning it, but she knows that Kenny survived because of her. And she says she felt something go cold inside her, and then she saw these marks on her stomach after that happened. So something is going on with her.
She's just having an allergic reaction. That's all.
Yeah, that works.
Allergic reaction.
I had some thoughts about this. I guess I'll share
Go
them.
for it.
Well, I mean, one thing, when she had something going cold inside her, I kind of wondered if like when she had that kind of emotional outburst last week that seemed to like maybe strengthen the connection or exercise that connection, like if that like has caused this reaction, like is the price of working through Smiley, of saving someone, like her own health, her own life, right? Like there's a price to that connection, and this is it. I also kind of what, like when she thinks, am I turning into one of them? Well, okay, we'll talk about that later. I don't want to like overrun the conversation in the clinic.
Yeah, because I feel like there's a big conversation to be had. Yeah. So let's wait to get to that a little bit. All right. So, whoops, where'd my pictures go? I lost them here. All right. So the next scene is Ethan and his pictures. So Ethan is drawing like Victor does, because he said he wants to remember so that when he's alone and everybody else dies, he won't forget the people of the town. And his mother, of course, tells him again that's not going to happen to him, which she says quite a few times. And look, we talked about this yesterday. I mean, should she tell him, be more open with him? Maybe, but I also understand it's her kid. She doesn't want him to be scared, and she's trying to fix the fact that he's terrified. And, but yeah, Ethan is actually, I don't think he's as scared as she thinks he is. Like, he's like, no, I need to be prepared. This is what's going to help me. I need to take care of this. Victor's going to tell me what to do. But as a mother, she's kind of horrified by that, which is what a lot of the episode, is about later on.
You know what I think's funny is he's not, hey, I need to be prepared just in case. He's more morbid. He's more like, I need to be prepared because it's going to happen.
I think he's quite the little pragmatist and planner in this episode. And, Jamie speaking to, Tabitha's doing the things that you do to like reassure your child, protect your child. But those are the things that you do when you live in your normal suburban house and your kid is afraid of like what they just saw on the news. Like when you're living in like, you know, a hell dimension, and the kid understands his reality. Like I feel like sometimes when she's talking to Ethan and reassuring him, she's also partly reassuring herself.
True.
I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because she doesn't. She's scared that Victor's right. I guess there is probably a big part of that, and she doesn't know how to handle it. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I can see both points of view. Like, part of me feels like she should be a little more honest sometimes. Although in this case, she really doesn't know what's going to happen. But sometimes she could be. But it's still, I mean, it's still your kid. You don't want to be like, yeah, we might die. Like, that's not really healthy either, right? Like, it's kind of hard to go either direction with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, he wants to be prepared, and that's why he is drawing everybody. And okay, wait, sorry, I gotta skip to the next scene here. Okay. So this is them taking Fatima to the clinic to see Christy. That's pretty much all that scene is. It's not really anything important. All right, so this is the other big storyline that's going on in the episode, which is Jade's plan, I guess. He's got his tunnel map, which again, Boyd's like, why didn't you draw a map? It would have been easier.
But see, Boyd's a dick because it would have been easier for Boyd, but Jade's mind works. Like, this episode is about Boyd, like, getting on people for like not doing things the way he like. Nobody can do anything right.
Yes.
Basically, right?
Right.
Like he explained last episode, my mind works this way.
Yeah, which I did think was kind of funny because it was a little bit of a callback because I was waiting for Kenny to be like, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Kenny did say it first.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of funny though, because you're right. That is the way that it made him easy to do it. But I feel like probably after he figured out the map, he should have drawn it out on a map so other people could understand it.
But you know what?
Yeah, that's their hang up, not his.
The big difference, I feel though, is Kenny said, hey, why don't you just do it on a piece of paper? And Jade explained, you know, how he needs to. And Kenny was like, okay, all right. Boyd was like a dick about it. Like
he was
very aggressive about it.
Yeah. He's a total jerk in this episode.
Yeah, he is. He's
I understand he's coming unraveled, but you know.
Yeah. But you know, Jade's trying. That's why too. It's like you asked Jade to do this. He's doing exactly what you asked, and you're like yelling at him at every turn. So yeah, Jade tells him that there are a few different scenarios ranging on a scale of safety and complexity. He can tell him the simple and super dangerous ways to go, or the safer but more complex and possibly impossible ways to go. And this is where Boyd realizes from what he has constructed there that the tunnel is that if the tunnel's the only way in or out of the chamber, there's only one way in or out. They don't have a plan, because he's saying that like they're fish in a barrel. You can't go into that chamber and then have no way out of there because they'll end up blocking them in there. And he says, you know, even if you can get past the monsters, not wake them up, dig up the bones, like how do you get back out if they wake up? Because there's only one exit. And I get, as like a military person, he's not wrong, but I think like that's what this whole episode is about, is the fact that no matter what, not the whole episode, but I mean the whole part with him is about that, like he was never going to be satisfied with the plan. Even if there was 5 different ways to do it, Boyd was going to say, no, it's too dangerous. I feel like no matter what Jade said to him, which is why he's not even really listening to Jade through half of it, which is part of the problem. And Khatri at least calls him on later. Because yeah, he does not want anybody to die. And like, I can appreciate that's the way you do things in war, and that he doesn't want people to die. But that's kind of the point later. Like, if you don't take a chance and let some people die, nobody's going to live. They're all going to end up dying.
Also, that's the thing, though.
Let's remember. Go ahead. I'm
sorry. No, you're good. People die in war. This is fucking war. You know, and I really think like Boyd wanted Jade to come out of his mushroom trip and be like, "Oh my god, it's so simple. Click your heels together 3 fucking times, and we'll all go home."
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not aware. Did I miss a part where Boyd served in action? Boyd was the quartermaster, right? Boyd's job in the army was Mr. Loaves and Fishes. He was the quartermaster. He was like the director of supply. The quartermaster's the director of supply, right? He's a supply chain guy. He was not a general directing the infantry on the field. I understand that he had some training, as everybody in the military does or whatever. But and you know, and like we all
he did see action. He did see action though.
Okay, but
he told that story. I forget the story, but there's a story about a bunch of people dying.
He's not
dangerous.
I get what you're saying, though.
He's not Eisenhower directing like a theater in World War II. He's just a guy who was in the army. I think you're right. Nobody's going to be right, but like Boyd shows a real lack of leadership here, where he doesn't like the plan, but he never says, "Okay, let's think about this. Let me think about your plan. There's some good elements here. There are parts that are in."
Whoop! You froze.
You went out for a minute. Oh, more than a minute.
Yeah.
She froze.
Yeah. Well, we'll keep talking about it.
She can finish that thought one back.
Yeah.
I had an internet blip.
Now she came back. We didn't hear anything you said, Karen.
Right. Well, I'm just talking about how Boyd offers nothing. Boyd's like, your plan sucks, but he offers 0 suggestions, no encouragement to refine the plan, no let's work the problem. Just like, you know, just
You're
like
the genius, figure it out is basically what he's
barking orders and then dismissing people when they come back with a suggestion, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I said I think even if Jade had a perfect plan, he still would have said this is a bad plan. I feel like it was never
Petty was a quartermaster. Okay, I don't mean to diminish like the role of the quartermaster in a war, but I'm just not aware of Boyd being like like Boyd was in the army, and I think Abby was in the army also, right? But I don't think that Boyd is not like, I mean, Boyd's a leader here. So I apologize for not knowing like what people do in the army and the military, except for what I see in movies.
Yeah, right.
Like in MASH, they always had to call the quartermaster to get a pizza oven.
Yeah, I don't think that's what they do for real.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Fletch.
Yeah, that's right. He was a Marine. He was Army though, right? He was Army.
He was Army. Abby was Marine.
At any rate, whatever he was in, whatever he did in real life, he's just not exhibiting good leadership here.
He's not. But he's not wrong with what he says either. He's just not, like you said, I agree with you. Like he's not offering options. He's not saying, let's figure it out. He's just saying, you're wrong, do better. And he says it multiple times. He says it to Jade. One time he like literally says, do better. The other time he says, you're the genius, you figure it out. Like he's being an asshole, and he's not. And even Kenny says to him, you didn't listen to anything Jade said. Like you were going to say it no matter what. You were going to have a problem. But yeah, at the same time, I do get it's dangerous, but they have to be willing to take some risks, or nobody is ever.
Well, yeah, I mean, as soon as he's like, is this the only way in and out of the cave? And he's like, Jade's like, yeah. And Boyd's like, okay, conversation over. Like, he didn't even say, okay, that's a problem. We need to work the problem. You know, he just said, nope, oh, all done. Come up with a new idea.
Yeah, but Jade is trying. But yeah, all he says to Kenny when Kenny says you didn't listen, there's the picture of the thing. When Kenny says that you didn't listen, he says, you never go into a hostile space without a secondary exit. That was his answer.
That sounds like a totally reasonable and good thing to point out here, right?
Yes, that's why I said he's not wrong with what he's saying. He's just not fixing for things, I guess. But Kenny says to him, you know, we told everybody that this is how we're getting home. We need to figure something out. Like, you can't tell the whole town. I get Kenny's point of view. Like, you can't tell the whole town if we dig up the bones, we go home, and then not figure out how to do it, because I know that if they don't, somebody else is going to try to do it and get killed, right? I think that's, at least to me, that was kind of where Kenny was going with that they have to figure out something. They can't just now be like, oh, never mind, not going to happen. They have to figure out a plan. But he does say, you know, if we're going to do it, we got to do it right. I'm not going to leave people down there. So yeah, his goal is to save every single person, even if that means they're stuck there forever, I guess, because he's not thinking it through. But this is when he hears gunshots, and Kenny clearly does not hear the gunshot. And Boyd just kind of brushes it off, and he's like, I got to go to the clinic, right? And Kenny doesn't even know anything's wrong because he doesn't tell him what's going on, that he's hearing these gunshots of when he shot his wife back, years ago. So he is breaking more and more in this episode, and at the point he's almost broken, I think. So he's becoming less of a good leader, and I really think, and I've said this before, I think Donna should be leading, but now Donna had a heart attack and she's hurt. So I don't know, but maybe Kenny then should be like, I think I need to try to figure it out. Not that would go down well, but Boyd's kind of. Yeah,
there's a couple great comments in the chat right now. Jessme is pointing out when Swing Coat Lady said, you were never the smart one, Jade. She said that a long time ago.
I think that was during his vision, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Was that when she said it? Yeah. And Petty points at the Boyd trade Kenny, and Kenny's like kind of, Kenny's always had some good, quiet leadership that he is reluctant to exhibit. Like he stepped down from the deputy. And Fletch a year ago said Boyd would have the same fate as Kenny's father. And here we are. Boyd isn't okay. Well, Kenny's father had dementia and Boyd has Parkinsonism, right?
Which begs the question. Christy said that back then that Parkinson's giving somebody dementia would not happen this quickly. So it makes me wonder, is it that the town is somehow like making it go faster? Is it that it's in his head and he really doesn't have any symptoms from Parkinson's, and like he just thinks he does because the town's fucking with him?
Well, I said that last week.
Is it supernatural? Yeah.
I mean, I think he has Parkinson's. He had it before he came, right? I think he has Parkinson's, but I mean, we're going to see throughout this episode. I think, they have Christy and they keep going to Christy, who was 3 years of med school. She's what they got for a doctor. And they keep seeking medical solutions to problems that like, it just seems ridiculous to me. Like these are supernatural problems. And there's no way to tell if Boyd's problem is legitimate advancement of disease or supernatural. I think it's supernatural, a lot of it. And why do they continually seek a medical explanation for these things?
I do think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think that Boyd knew he could get Parkinson's because of his father, but I don't think that he ever was diagnosed with
he's a Christie diagnosis?
I believe so, but somebody can tell me if I'm wrong. I want to bring up, I didn't realize we don't have any more about Roger really. So I want to get to this one now before we forget and miss it. Fletcher had said, I think those two giant dolls that escaped the settlement will come back in the finale and finish the Patty job. Do you think that we're going to see them again?
I do not.
I don't either.
Although
when they go back to the settlement.
Although when Victor whipped out two dolls this week, it did make me like think about.
Oh my God, I called that.
I had not thought of that. See, this is why I talk to all different people. I always get all different info from you guys. I always think we always all think it's different things. Kimberly said, I agree with Karen. I think it's Parkinson's induced from Fromville. He was never diagnosed with it, just told that he could get it. That doesn't mean he will get it. So I thought, and those two giant dolls ran away and won't pop up again. I don't know. I kind of feel like they might, but probably not this season would be my.
I don't see them coming to the town unless they're already on their way, and because it's going to take them a minute to walk here. I think if they go back to the settlement, they absolutely could show up again. Otherwise, I don't see a logical, smart reason for them to show up again.
Yeah.
I thought they were kind of dumb.
Step up. I think somebody needs to step up, either him or Donna. They need to do it before it's too late, because I feel like I kind of question, are they going to get to the point where Boyd is going to be like, no, I'm fine, when he's not, and not admit to anybody what's going on and make things worse? I could see that happening.
Well, at least he did go to Christy and say, hey, listen, I lied to you.
Yeah. She's like, come to me. And then he does. And she's like, I can't do anything.
Of course, she can't. This is
just
what I'm talking about. The idiocy of seeking medical solutions from they expect her to be a specialist in everything. She has no equipment. She has no drugs. She has her education. In this episode, she annoyed me a little because I think there are some ways in which Mariel is more experienced and has like more training in certain, like Mariel was working at, Mariel was working as a nurse. Chrissy was working as an EMT, and she's trained and she has 3 years of medical school, but they just expect her to be this like specialist in everything and have an answer for everything. And
when you're in a town like this and there's only a nurse, they're the doctor. They know everything, right? Yeah. This is true in all shows, not just in this. Patty says that I think she means Boyd, took everything this place throws at people. It's already probably threw at Boyd. Even the Abby thing, I think Boyd simply did not break. So back off. I think Boyd hasn't broken yet. I just question that he's getting close to the point of no return. I don't know. That's kind of.
I want to address Just Me's question real quick. How did Frosty the Snowman see with button eyes?
That's not an answer, AJ. Yeah, I don't.
I didn't say I had an answer. I said I wanted to address it.
I don't think Roger could see. I think that's why he was going like this. But as for the dolls, see, I don't know. They're magical dolls, so I'll defer to you guys. If Boyd, I didn't see. Oh, okay, here it is. Wait, did Boyd's condition get worse after the worms? And is it the man in yellow putting visions or feelings into Boyd? Did it get worse? That is a good question. Like thinking about when the worms came and when it really started, we really didn't see much of anything going on until then. I tend to think it's more a coincidence rather than a causation.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's just been a progression. It was a slow progression, and now it's starting to ramp up.
Yeah.
Especially now that Man in Yellow is trying to break the town.
Yeah, but is it Man in Yellow putting the visions into him? It very well could be. It also could be PTSD.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't know how that works.
I feel like it could be.
It might not be specific things. It might just be the generalized whatever, and then Boyd's brain manifests whatever is going to drive him the craziest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we won't.
All right. When we get to we'll talk about that, Fletcher, when we get to the hallucination, which will be there in a second. So let's first. Okay, so Henry is talking to Bacta. She's letting him make lunch there and is trying to help him out. And then his song Blue comes on the radio to freak him out. Look, this happens a lot. And he remembers, when he was with Tabitha, and we heard that that's just kind of to tell us, like remind us about the song, I guess, more than anything. And so he, is trying to freak him out, the town, I guess, at this point. But she's like, oh, it happens, you'll get used to it. So, all right. And then meanwhile, we have, I lost where was I here? Okay, we have them burning the body. I do think this was a good idea. I think they should have done this at the beginning.
I think they should burn all the bodies always.
Yeah, probably wouldn't hurt. I was going to say now they also solved the problem that they didn't have enough room for them in the cemetery.
Yeah,
fix the problem. So yeah, they're burning the body. We know it won't come back again. At least he won't come back again. At least I wouldn't see how it could at this point. There's this conversation between Patty and Sophia, where Patty's like, it wasn't always this scary. And Sophia talks about hoping they can get the bones. The thing that I think was, I don't know that I want to say important about the scene, but that stuck out to me about the scene was the fact that she like waved at Ethan. Like, what was up with that? Like, I guess she's just trying to be friends with him, talk to him. I mean, she's supposed to be younger, but it just was kind of weird the way they did it. I don't know. To me, it was anyway.
She's a freak.
She is. This is true. But I didn't even know he knew her or ever talked to her. Or, I mean, she was mean to Julie. I would be surprised he would want to talk to her. But, yeah, she waves to him like she wants to be his friend. And then in the next scene, we have Victor. Now, I know you don't want to go deep, but I got to ask you guys, what the fuck is up with Victor looking at the teeth and putting them on his drawing? Because I don't know if you noticed that. I'm guessing you might not have. But
I did not notice that.
You can see it now. He had the teeth out. When Tabitha comes in, he hides them. He puts them back in the bag. So what do you think that means? And also, what do you think the drawing is? We were talking about that too. It looks like somebody, which he's about to color yellow.
I gotta turn my computer like upside down to see it.
I don't know what. I don't know what the.
It's like
head.
it's like a big creature holding a little, like, is it like a big doll holding a person and trying to kill them? I gotta make this big.
I think that's the man in yellow, I think, because he starts to color it yellow when she comes in. The chat, they're saying, could it be man in yellow and Eloise? I would say maybe, except for the fact that Victor said he didn't know what happened for sure to Eloise. That's the only reason I'm going to say it's probably not Eloise.
Oh, but
I could be wrong. He could have expressed it. Yeah. But no, those are not peanuts. John. Those are most definitely teeth.
I don't know what he's drawing, but the reason he's playing with the teeth is because Victor becomes the man in yellow. Clearly.
Oh, shut up.
Obviously, maybe I can tell maybe to everybody.
I mean, who knows? Victor also was a creepy dude, but I mean, these teeth represent people who've been killed, and so maybe there's some sort of like emotional thing going on here. Like it could be. Obviously, he doesn't know which tooth is which, but it like one of them could be Eloise's tooth, one of them could be his mother's tooth.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to last on this too long, but I never would have thought about any of this had it not been brought up. But it looks, because of the way the arm is, and it looks like there's a child kind of like draped over him.
Yeah, that's
it looks like he's spanking a child.
It looks to me like they're bent backwards, but yes.
It's Freddy Krueger.
Now that you said
or
that.
It's Freddy Krueger, because those look like claws on his hand.
Yeah, he drew them when he had the man in yellow eating his mother. He had hands like that, so that's the way he had drawn the hands. And somebody said something about the ones that had hands were Eloise's drawings, but Eloise didn't draw her own mother getting eaten. Victor drew her because he said he did. So this is his drawing. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird, but whatever it is, the teeth thing disturbed me, and why he is using them, touching them, whatever. Is an issue. I don't know what it is. I don't know that I want to know what it is.
All right, let's move on.
Playing with the teeth. All right. So then we have Tabitha coming in, and like I said, he did put the teeth away right away. Tabitha wants him to tell Ethan that it's not true. He won't be left alone. Because he's scaring him, and Victor's like, I can't do that. So he refuses to tell him it's not true because he doesn't get it. You know, she's trying to tell him, look how much you've scared him. You need to fix this, but he doesn't see that. But like I said, Ethan actually, I don't think is as scared as she is. He's like, no, I want to know what to do. Can he tell me what to do? I'll feel safer if he tells me what I need to learn how to do. So she finally agrees to it, which is, I think, in this case, probably the best form, I guess. I don't know.
I agree with you. Ethan doesn't seem that scared to me. Victor's scaring
No,
Tabitha.
he doesn't.
Victor's scaring Tabitha with her talk that she's going to die, and her son. It's terrifying, I'm sure, for her to think that her son could be left alone in this place, his life at risk, and that he could like become the new Victor. Right? That's got to be terrifying for a mother.
Mm-hmm. I like Maze's idea. He's always been afraid of his memories. With having to mentor Ethan, I think the drawing in teeth is to show he's not afraid anymore. He does draw the things to remember, and before there were drawings he couldn't look at because it scared him, right? Yeah. So yeah, maybe I like that idea. I don't know that that's the case, but I like it. I do like that. Because otherwise I don't know what it means, but I like that idea.
Here's some strong thoughts from Petty. Victor admitted to making things up, so what he says are possible lies. So I have stricken all his statements from the record. I mean,
when did he specifically say he made stuff up, though? I'm trying to figure out what. I don't remember him saying that, so I'm curious when he said that. But
he is a very unreliable narrator, right?
Yes, he definitely is an unreliable
narrator.
All right.
Would you kill your son just so he doesn't have to be the lone survivor? All right. Fletch, you're in timeout.
But I think that's actually an interesting question, though. I think if everybody was going to die and like you absolutely knew without a doubt everyone was going to die, maybe, but I feel like you never know that, and that you would want to try to save the person. But if like you were all on the cusp of dying, I could actually see that as a legit question.
Actually, no, I was messing with it because I thought that was funny. But to be fair, has everybody here ever seen the movie The Mist with Thomas Jane?
Oh,
that's literally how that movie ends. Oh, sorry, I just spoiled it.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I just spoiled it for you. But
I don't like the end of that movie. But no, we're just teasing. But I don't know. I think it's an interesting question because I think that you don't want your kid to suffer.
Well, I mean,
or you kill your son so he doesn't turn into the Man in Yellow. There is that too.
But I mean, this is very close to what Boyd was doing when he was counting the bullets, in case they all need to kill themselves, so they don't, get eaten by monsters, or so they don't, whatever, right? Like that's close to what he's doing.
Yes. All right. So then we have, let's see. So he wants him to help him. Then we go back to Fatima here, and this is where they do an ultrasound. And Christy is like, I don't see any internal hemorrhaging. And I love Allison's like, yeah, well, you didn't see the baby either.
Well, and like, how many of us, raise your hand if you thought it right before Ellis said it?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Dieter. I got to try to remember this time you're Dieter. I keep getting him confused because now that it's from a hall, like they both look the same. And I keep thinking he's Fletcher every time.
Dieter's blue and Fletcher's
yeah, I know. I see that now. Fletcher's black and Dieter's blue. So yeah, I appreciated that Ellis, even though it was rude, he's right. And at least Christy's like, yeah, you're right. I had no clue. But she's like, all I can tell you, she seems to be okay right now. She's not in immediate danger. And she did say, if this were anywhere else, I would say it was varicose veins from abdominal distension.
You know what's funny?
I don't know.
That's the first thing when she first showed her stomach. I thought the same. I was like, she looks like she has varicose veins on her stomach.
But my only question is, and I said this last night, if somebody got veins from abdominal distension, yes, if their stomach grew as fast as Fatima's could, it definitely could have done that. But she would have had the marks before, not now. They wouldn't all of a sudden show up. So that to me didn't make a ton of sense medically. I mean, not that I know everything about it, but I mean, if that's what she's saying, that she got varicose veins because her stomach.
No, she said if we were anywhere else other than Fromville, that's what I would say it is. She said, but probably she's not saying that's what it is. She's saying this is what I would think it is. But Fromville changes everything.
Yeah.
Whatever. She's not a gynecologist. She's a third-year medical student.
This is also true, but I'm just
saying. All right.
Dumb reason. But anyway, yeah, she doesn't know. The truth is, she doesn't know is the answer. So this is where Fatima says, when you did the, I had written this down because some people, so they knew where, like she's talking about when Christy did the autopsy on Smiley. She's like, you said they were monsters. And also she said they were monsters too. That they used to be, that they used to be human, she said too. That they used to be human, all their organs used to be human. They were like desiccated or whatever. They were all dried up. And she's like, so is it possible I'm turning into one? Oh, good night, Jenna. Thanks for coming. So yeah, she's like, is it possible that what's happening to me is whatever happened to them?
Yes.
So
the answer is yes.
So thoughts. I know we had a lot of comments about this. What do you guys think about what Fatima says? Do you think she's turning into a monster?
I mean, I think it's a better answer than varicose veins, right? But
I don't think she's turning into a monster. The reason I don't think she's turning into a monster is because Fletch said she would. No, that's not why. No, that's not why. Because first of all, that's what everybody thinks is happening. Second of all, because it doesn't make sense with the story we've been given. The monsters are the people that sacrifice their children. It was like, the deal they made with the genie who said you can live forever if you sacrifice your children. They said, oh, great. and they sacrifice their children, and they're basically zombies now, with monstrous zombies. So there's no reason for Fatima to turn into a monster because she didn't sacrifice her child. Her child was a monster.
Okay, but she could be turning in. I was thinking maybe she's turning into something more like Kimono Lady.
Something else, yes. Something else, yes. Something else, yes. But we haven't even talked about it yet, and I'm going to bring it up now. I like what Marielle said. She's like, why do we automatically assume this is something bad? Like, something good already came from it. She stopped Kenny. She saved Kenny's life. So why can't this be something good? Hey, why can't this be something that's connected to the golem? Everybody's just assuming, oh, well, she gave birth to a monster, now she's becoming one. Maybe she is. I don't know. Or maybe she's becoming something else in the town. But
she's the bride of
golem. There you go. I don't think we should rule out Marielle's thoughts, especially since Christy went to the school of Boyd and was like, don't talk to her like that. She's my patient. Like, fuck you. She's not anybody's patient, really.
She was not nice to her girlfriend. I don't, what I was saying earlier, or last night, I wasn't saying that what has happened to her was obvious. What I was saying was that, to me, if Fatima says she's turning into a monster, that to me means it's probably not the case, because that would be too obvious in the sense that she said that. Not that the idea of the theory.
Oh, like the writers wouldn't signal it that directly.
Right. That was my immediate thought, is if she thinks that, then it must not be true. But it does seem like it. I mean, I'm going to give it to Fletcher. It does really seem like it. But I don't know. I also don't want him to go that way. I don't know that I love that. But I guess it depends. Yeah, it depends. Like just me, she could be like a half-breed. The other thing I've been saying is I kind of wonder, since like Smiley, like his teeth and claws retracted, I've been saying, like, if she is turning monster, could he be turning human? Like, not that they would either both go all the way to that extreme, but like, could they both be kind of like imbibing a little bit of each other?
I didn't think that. I assumed she just suppressed his, like, he was like vamping out there and she like suppressed that.
But the fact that she can, like, I don't know. I
mean, I'm really down with Dieter. I really, and I alluded to this earlier, the more she uses Smiley, the more she's going to change.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. Assuming it's Smiley and not the golem. Because you're right with what you said earlier. It really could be the golem that did it. We're just making an assumption. But I do like the idea she could be turning into Kimono Lady, because that's like turning into something other, but not exactly a monster, because we don't know what she is and what the cycles, like, it could potentially make sense. I don't know. Yeah. But Fletcher said her belly looked just like the Smiley corpse when they did the autopsy. It does look like the monster's veiny stuff. I mean,
and the Ankui kids are also veiny.
Yeah, someone pointed out in the chat that the Ankui kids are also veiny.
Yeah, you're right. They are all veiny.
Okay, hold on. I gotta ask. Did you count the monsters? Like, I want a count and a name for each one of them, because I never stopped to count the monsters. Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point, though, if you're right, because maybe is it an oversight or something else?
But if there's that many cycles, why would there only be like 2 extra monsters, though? Is the other question.
I don't know. Maybe the boy.
But we don't sacrifice every cycle. There's only one sacrifice.
No. I mean, if the monsters became monsters when the sacrifice took place.
Yeah, that's right.
There would be well, actually, there'd be 6 sets of parents, right? Because Jade and Tabitha.
No, because there's not a sacrifice in every cycle. There was the original.
No. I'm not saying. I'm talking original monsters when it originally happened. If it was a mother and a father for each of the kids, except the last kid, that we don't know whether the last kid that wasn't sacrificed, Tabitha and Jade's kid, if that was 8 or 7, we don't know. So there's either 12 or 14, not 16. So like what I'm saying is, if something like what's happening to Fatima happened to them, and that does do that, why in all the cycles did it only happen that many times, is what I was saying. Like, if it's the same thing, why would it only happen that many times? Does that make sense?
I have absolutely no understanding of what you just said.
I'm saying that if there should only be either 12 or 14 monsters from the original sacrifice, if there was a parent for every kid, we don't know whether Jade and Tabitha's their Ankui kid, whether that was the 7th one that was sacrificed or whether that was the 8th one that wasn't sacrificed. Most people, I think, tend to believe it was the 8th child. So that would mean there would be 14 monsters, parents of 7 children. Right. So what I'm saying is if there's 16, those 2 had to come from somewhere else. If Fatima is turning into one, and this happened before, since it happens in cycles, I was saying, why did it only happen twice? Like, wouldn't there be more than 16 is what I was saying.
Well, yeah, okay. So if you're assuming that Boyd was not the first person to kill a monster and Fatima's not the first person to have a monster baby, that's what you're saying.
Yes, I'm saying, like, wouldn't there be more than that many extra? Yeah, we don't. Yeah, I thought maybe it was 14 though, because I thought maybe I don't know whether their kid's the 7th or 8th. I've heard both ways, so I don't have the answer to that. But
I don't know.
Not every cycle is the same. That's why. Okay, that's fair. That's fair, Fletcher. And yes, Naveed, Jasmine did say that, and I've seen this kind of theory that maybe that came.
Yeah, but Jasmine said she didn't choose to be this way. I didn't choose. I didn't know this is what's going to happen to me after I sacrifice my child.
Yeah, right. Like I thought I was going to have eternal life and be young and beautiful and live it up.
Yeah. And Patty, that is Jasmine. That's what you're saying. The other thing is, I've also heard the theory that some people are saying, even though Fatima didn't agree to it, they did technically take her child away from her. So could the town still consider that her sacrificing her child? And that therefore,
no.
I don't know that I agree with that. I'm just telling you, I've heard this go around.
Okay.
You asked the question, I answered.
No, I know. I'm just saying, I don't know that I think that. I'm just telling you what I've heard. Either way, this is like probably the first time, but I do agree with Marielle in this case. Like you said, like she saved Kenny. That's a big thing. Like the most important thing to you guys, you keep saying, is getting out of here. And you maybe have a real way to fight this. And you're like, well, no, let's not do it. So I kind of agree.
So yeah, this is, I mean, that happens in the scene, right? We only see the 3, but Marielle is here and this happens in this scene. I don't like the way that Christy is treating Marielle in this episode. The love of her life. Okay, just because that's the love of your life doesn't mean you can't argue and disagree. But she's very Boydish in the sense of like shutting her down. Do what it's my way or the highway. Do as I say. She's my patient. You're wrong. Don't talk about it. Like, and like it's so obvious to all of us viewers that like, I mean, she saved Kenny, right? Like she did save and then like later in the episode, like she pulls out this little secret weapon, like, oh, her vitals are so low, she might actually be dead. And I'm like, oh, well, like, don't treat a person like shit and they're stupid when you're withholding like the most vital piece of information that might change their mind, bitch. Christy, really
that was my question. Do you think that the whole heart rate and blood pressure, then you think that she knew that all along, not that it changed? Because we kind of discussed that. Like, it's not clear to me if maybe it didn't just happen after this, but you're saying you think she just withheld it from both of them the whole time.
Like at first I didn't, but on my second watch, then it seemed to me that maybe she's been like holding this piece of information. Like
it is strange that it would happen in like an hour when this already happened to her a long time ago, or not a long time ago, but a day ago or whatever, that it just now happened. So
I mean, I thought she was a total jerk, and okay, Petty, correct. Her duty is to her patient, but Marielle is also a medical person she's not just some like, I mean, she's also a medical professional. And a person who, I mean, everybody's in a life and death situation. And I think that I maybe, they're obviously not following HIPAA in this town. They're not like doing a lot of, like, I hear you, and she does say she's my patient. You go through me, and I kind of get it. Like, she doesn't want Mariel sitting in there and being like, here, let's try like hypnosis or whatever. But I think that Mariel is also a medical professional and is like, I mean, Christy's happy to consult with her when it suits her. And then when she disagrees, I just thought she was rude. Like, you can do this in a way that is not so.
You know what else?
I also kind of, sorry, go ahead, AJ, and then I'll say that.
I should say also, Fandom flat out says, hey, Marielle, tell me more about your theory.
Yeah, later she does.
So why are you giving her giving her shit about it? Like, I love Marielle is like, you know what? Fuck you.
No, I was going to say, though, the thing is saying, it's to her patient. I feel like Marielle is also, in a way, thinking about Fatima. Yes, she's saying this could help us. I'm not going to lie and say she's not. She is saying this could be helpful to us. But she also says to Marielle kind of what Fatima's later saying to Ellis. If she can make this horrible thing that happened to her have meaning, isn't that worth something? She even says that to her. Like, she wants to help because she doesn't, this was bad. There could be something good in that inherently. And you're just kind of like ignoring it. So,
well, some of you guys who are regular chatters here have discussed, like, in the chat over the last couple of weeks, that Fatima's story arc this season is about her like losing control and seeking control and regaining a measure of control. And that's certainly, I was, thinking about that today. I was like, yeah, these guys are right on. That's definitely where it's going with her, right? Like, she built the golem because it was giving her a sense of control. Now she might have like more than a sense, but real control. And Mariel's the only person who seems to be like, not even Kenny is like, oh my God, yes, she saved my life. Like, this was a beautiful miracle. Can we?
Yeah,
right?
I would have liked to have seen a thank you, right?
Yeah.
I know we didn't have time for it. I'm being facetious, but yeah.
That was off screen.
Yeah. Something that confused me too, and I was curious if they did hear her vitals when they did the ultrasound or not. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of, now that I heard Karen say that, it does make sense. To me, that she knew the whole time. The only reason I would say maybe she didn't is because she didn't act panicked in the same way. Like, later, she seems a bit more like something's going on, where now she doesn't, but she could be hiding it. You could.
I don't know. They always, you go to the doctor's office to take your vitals. I go to the dentist, they want to take my blood pressure, right? Like everywhere you go, they're taking your blood pressure. And like, surely they took her vitals first thing when you see weird veins on someone's belly.
Yeah. I've always been stuck on the boy in white never using the term parent describing the Nkui children. They were killed by the people they trusted. Is Smiley's birth more how the children were born made? That's interesting. He does say that.
Yeah.
You are correct.
That is a weird way to say it. I hadn't really thought about it, but you're right. Sometimes I wonder if they try to make the script sound more.
So, no, because that could explain why there's more monsters than 2 per child.
Yeah.
Because maybe it wasn't just the parents. Maybe you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I actually was doing some research while we were talking about this and everything, and there was like somebody actually counted them. They were at 17 after season 1, and then saw they added 3 more after season 2. So there's like 20 different monsters that we know of.
Let's see. Well, what I do see is we have more people here than have taken a fraction of a second to hit the like button. So guys, come on, please take a chance, hit the like button.
You know what the best way to hit the like button is? As soon as you log in,
just hit it.
And you open it. Hit and the show starts. Like.
I think it's totally fair if you're new here and you wanted to take a minute to decide if you liked it, but now you're here this long, you obviously like it, so hit that button.
And to be fair, you can change it, I think, after you
all right.
So always can. All right. So
and if you don't like us,
so I understand someone commented up here that all right, anyway, all right, enough about this for now, right? Like this all-purpose hospital clinic where they apply modern medicine to supernatural problems.
Yeah.
And everyone's rude to each other.
Yes. All right. Whoop. I lost my pictures. Okay. So, Ellis is mad though. He's upset because of the stuff she says, which I understand. He's upset. He doesn't want to hear things are wrong, so he's kind of
he doesn't want to hear anything ever.
Okay, that's fair. But yeah, he doesn't want her talking about something that could potentially be dangerous.
He is Boyd's son.
I thought he was very overbearing, protective male in this episode. We talk about Fatima wanting a sense of control. I love the part that's going to come later where he says, "I know how you feel," and she's like, "Really? Really? Did you give birth to a monster? I don't think you know how I feel." And then he finally actually comes. Whatever, we'll get to that. But I thought he was a bit like, people are like, "Oh, Fatima's our dear, beautiful flower who brightens all of our days," is how they've been the entire 4 seasons, right? And it's nice to see Fatima, she's been through this horrible thing, but it's nice that you're being like, "Look, I have an opinion and this is what I'm going to do."
Yeah. All right. So then we go to Jade and Kenny, and Jade's like, we're not going to go down and just suddenly find a different way out. That it's been seared into his brain, and he knows that there's no other way out. And he's like, maybe they put him there for that reason, because we couldn't get him out. But the point is, he wants Kenny. He's like, Boyd listens to you. You need to tell him that with this plan, everybody might not live. And Kenny's like, I'm not going to say that to him. He's not going to listen to that. And he also says something that I think is really important, where he says, Jade says there's a reason nobody's ever gone out there. Maybe it's down there. Maybe it's because nobody's willing to make the hard decisions before. That's why nobody's gone home. Sorry. And then Kenny's like, yeah, but you're not the one that's going to go down into the tunnels and make the hard decisions. Like, he knows Jade does not intend to be one of the people to go down there. Oh, hey, Jen. Welcome. And Boyd Stevens. We got Boyd in the house now. Welcome. But yeah, what do you think about that? And I know earlier, let me see, Fletcher had said something. I think it was Fletcher said something about that the fact that Jade's willing to sacrifice others, but not himself. How do you feel about that? I definitely don't think he meant that he was going down. I agree with Kenny in that sense. And Jade can be selfish, and he's not wrong with the things he's saying, but he isn't the one who intended to go down. So,
well, that was. Go ahead, AJ. I'm sorry, I'm just jumping right in there.
No, I made my little comment. You can go ahead.
I don't think that was ever clear that whether Jade intended to or not, until Kenny says, "Oh, and are you going to be making the hard decisions?" Later in the episode, Jade does refer to when I lead people down there or something, or when I go down there. Later, he does mention going down there. I guess he's been, shamed into it. I think there's a question of whether Boyd would take Jade, whether Jade wanted to go or not. I think if Jade wanted to go, Boyd might not take him anyway. I think Boyd would have his hand-picked crew of who he wants, and I don't know that he'd pick Jade, despite Jade having been down there.
We need Jade's brain.
They do need Jade's brain, but I hadn't thought of that. That's a good point. But
what I really took from this is the growing tension between Kenny and Jade over the last few episodes, and Kenny really at the end of his rope with Jade's condescension.
Yeah. Even if it does maybe change what Jade says and make him think about later, I do think at this point he didn't intend to go down. Like when Kenny said that, I think Kenny was right. I don't think he did. I think that definitely may change, but yeah. Right.
I just have one thing to say. I suggested building a door at the entrance and putting up a talisman before Jade said it.
You did.
When I was watching the episode, I said it to Damon, and then the next scene, Jade said it, and I was like,
right? You mean in the chamber? You mean in the chamber?
In the chamber, yeah. Since there's only one way into the chamber, I was like, just put up a door and put a talisman on it. They can't get in while you dig up the bodies.
Right. No, totally valid. But I guess the problem is, how do they get back out? Is what Boyd's saying.
Who cares how they get back out? That's the sacrifice part.
Yeah, but if they can't get out to get the bones out,
and not for nothing. How do we know that as soon as you don't you dig up the bones and you release their souls, that everybody doesn't go poof. You might not need to get out of the cave. You might just go home.
Maybe.
We don't know.
But I mean, I kind of see Boyd's point too, though, because if it might do nothing if they can't get out. Like if they go down and they dig them up and they need to like physically remove them from the cave, what do? There's got to be a way, I guess. Okay, Dieter says it seems Jade is the cause of the sacrifice. Maybe even got tricked like Henry. Now maybe he regretted it in the end and helped Tabitha saving the kids, and that's why they're always reincarnated. I don't know. I know that has to do with their theory.
Listen, Fletch, I didn't say that it's going to work releasing the bones. I just said it's a possibility based on their theories.
All I know is they're not going to have like they dig up the bones and they leave the town. Like we got a season left, guys. So if they
they're
can't,
not going to dig the bones in the next 2 weeks. I think that's effort.
I guess that's going to take quite a while to get there. But my point is, it's not going to like be solved in 2 weeks. Like they're not going to figure out how to leave the town in 2 weeks.
Actually, I could totally see them going down there and digging up the bones in the finale and being like, okay, now what? Or nothing happened. That's a good cliffhanger for the finale. Not that you need a cliffhanger, but just saying, I could see that happening. And then a bunch of people die, and Boyd goes, see, I told you, all those people got killed, and the bones didn't do shit. What now, Jade? And Jade goes, I don't know. Let me get any more mushrooms?
Yeah. I want to bring up a point. Dieter says they don't have a choice to go down there, but would the monsters go into the light that comes through the ceiling if they dig a hole? We were talking about this yesterday. Do we accept the fact, because I feel like this is something that everybody has assumed, and I'm not saying it's wrong, it's what I've assumed too, but the monsters don't come out during the day. We've all assumed, like in a lot of shows, the trope is they can't go into the light. But do we really know that just because they haven't?
No, we don't.
We don't. No, we don't.
Okay. But it is a good point, though. If they dig the hole, the monsters may not be able to come out where the light is.
Since we talked about it, I want to put this up too, what Fletch said. Removing the tree that got created by the hope of the kids that died seems smart as fuck, sarcastically. Obviously, it's a dumb plan. The boy in white told Victor not to cut the tree down.
Yes.
And now Jade wants to pull it up by the roots.
Okay, I mean, we can talk about that a little more when we get to that part. But to be fair, they haven't asked Victor what he thinks about cutting down the tree. So maybe, right? Like, Boy White told Victor hasn't shared that information. They don't know that information, right?
I think Fletch's point was this is not going to end well.
Okay, yes. All right, good point.
If Christopher ended up going after Eloise and Victor, like Miranda said when she kept them hiding, why would taking the bones rescue them? Why would Chris end up trying to sacrifice the kids? And Dieter had said, in some folklore, you don't have to bury the bones. You have to bury the bones so the soul can rest. Doesn't undo the sacrifice. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure that digging them up is going to do anything, right? I mean, it might not.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a bad plan in theory.
Well, I think the tree is a bad plan. That's the part that to me is like, why would you do that? This is a no-no.
I do agree with Boyd on the fact that he's like, so you're just gonna rip this tree out by the roots? Like, how long has this tree been here? Think about that.
I mean, I have a lot of thoughts. Are we at that part? Are we at that scene yet? Is this the scene where we're talking about that? No, I have a lot of thoughts about it, but I'll wait until we come
No, he hasn't. He hasn't come to that conclusion yet.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a little bit further then. Okay, well, Joyd. I don't know why the hell I called him Joyd. Boyd and
Are you
Jade.
Jade and Boyd?
Yeah. Jade gets really pissed and has a temper tantrum and starts throwing things, which is how he later comes up with the plan. But yeah, he gets pissed off. I like that, Jen. Jen says you need to take the bones to the Lake of Tears. We need to find the Lake of Tears first. Then they can take the bones to the Lake of Tears.
Not a literal lake.
Yeah, we've got to find it first, but that is a good idea. Okay, so Boyd comes out. He's like, you told me to tell you. I'm telling you. I've been having hallucinations. I've been hearing things too. I can't be a leader because I can't trust what I'm seeing. He doesn't know if it's connected to the tremors, but he does know that it's connected to Abby. Tells her about the hands that came out of the grave. He says, I know the place gets into people's heads, but this is different. He keeps hearing the gunshot. And why is it happening now that they're close to getting out, which could be the reason why it's happening now. But yeah, he wants her to do something. He's like, do something so I can stay together long enough to finish this. And she's like, there's nothing I can do. So, like, there really is nothing she can do. It just is kind of funny because she's been like, you have to tell me, I can help you. And then she's like, I can't help you.
Yeah. And again, I feel like lack of acknowledgement, the degree to which it could be supernatural. I mean, I'm using the word supernatural, but it could be town induced, right? Like, he's asking for a pill. He's assuming Boyd's really falling on the side of it's Parkinson's and not that it's the town. And Christy, she's thinking medical solutions, but she's not thinking of like kind of the obvious thing is that you shot your wife and you're traumatized and you're like, of course you're having flashbacks and bad dreams and things about that, right? Like, yeah. Like, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. Like, I shouldn't criticize these characters for not having like more
brains.
For having brains, for having nonsensical questions. This is being written away to show like Boyd's fraying nerves.
Yeah.
And his fears, right? But I mean, Christy had a lot to do in this episode, and none of it was really like she's been there a long time, and she doesn't like really seem to ever lately fall on the side of like, the town is like giving you visions. The town has given so many people like visions.
Yeah. Either way, I agree with you. I think a lot of it's just his trauma, and there's not a whole lot they can do. But
yeah,
is the town exacerbating it? Probably. But yeah, he's saying, this is, I can't lead if I can't trust myself. And
he's not doing a good job of leading anyway.
He isn't. No. But he does say, I can't lead the place if I can't trust what I see. And that makes me worry that it is foreshadowing he's going to fuck something up because of all this.
Oh, yeah. But nobody can trust what they see. Like, he's not the only person who can't trust what they see. Or Sarah can't trust what she hears. And you can't trust that people are dead. And you can't, right? Like, you can't.
True, but he's having an awful lot of hallucinations.
He is. There seem to be more and more more often and more intense, right?
Yeah. But yeah, either way, there's not a whole lot that she can do. So good point. Karen Mariel did make the acknowledgement with the pastor that she wasn't sure if it was medical. We don't know if a lot of this is medical. Although, I'm not with the yeah, that we know that wasn't medical though, right? I mean, that was Sophia. That wasn't.
We know it wasn't medical. They don't know
that. They don't know that. All right. Okay. So then we have Sophia here, who is once again lurking and sneaking around. Look, I have to say, at least the idiots put the suit away and it's not sitting in the middle of the desk now. So there's something to that, at least. Because they've left it on the desk for so long and we were complaining about it. He did put it away. But she goes and looks for the suit. I love that picture. She's looking under the bed. She does eventually find it.
I love how lovingly she looks at it.
Yeah, it's like my suit. So let me ask you guys a question. When she's doing this, everything's still all neat. Everything's still in its place. So she obviously makes it look like she ransacked it after on purpose. Why? Do you think it's just a fuck with Boyd? Like, why do you think she did that? Because he wouldn't have even known she went in there otherwise.
Yeah, I just would have put the box. Yeah, I would have put the empty box back. It's not like Boyd goes checking on it every day.
Yeah, if she had.
I was a little surprised to see the box still sitting out when he came in.
Yeah, but she had all his clothes like kind of out his drawer. Maybe she wanted him to know it was gone. That's the only thing I can think is like she wanted him to realize.
You could be right. I don't know her.
I don't know. I mean, it remains to be seen if Tabitha will come back to town and report that she's seen the man in yellow, Or will she like not tell anyone because it's so weird and she has to do stupid character things and not tell anyone important information, right? Like if Sophia can reasonably assume that Sophia's that I mean, maybe messing it up, leaving it neat is somehow tied to whether or not she expects that Tabitha will share this information.
Could be. You're right. I mean, they did say, maybe he wanted his jacket back because he's walking around naked in the woods.
Yeah.
I'm annoyed to that. She wouldn't mind throwing the suspicion around she's a chaos agent. And May says she enjoys fucking with everyone. They want someone to know walked in Tabby's house in Boyd Station in the daylight. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
The thing we also discussed is I had kind of assumed at the beginning that she has to have the suit, like maybe to transform back, like she has to have something of this, assuming that it was a person.
I don't assume that.
I'm saying, because that was my theory from before. I told you guys, I thought that she had to have a piece of their clothes, maybe also had to have a tooth. But I just want to tell you the thing that I said last night that I realized, like, which is why it's irrelevant anyway. But I was thinking about it, like, does she have to have the suit? Even if she doesn't need the suit to transform.
Yes, she needs. Why else get it?
Because think about it.
She wants the suit.
Well, that's my question. Does she need it? But the reason why I'm saying it doesn't really matter whether she needs it physically or not is if she didn't have the suit, it would make no sense, like story-wise. Because if she shows up as this old guy that nobody recognizes.
Right, exactly.
He's not the man in yellow, right? Like it's the suit that scares people because they've heard of this man in yellow.
Yes.
So,
so Jamie had posited that does it need an item of a person's clothing to turn into that person? So like if I want to turn into Jamie, I need a shirt of Jamie's to appear as Jamie. I think these are costumes that this entity wears. And I think that I don't think that she needs the yellow suit to appear in the body of Doug, right? But the suit is part of the persona. So she wanted that suit because she wants to be the man in yellow, because it will now sow fear into more and more people as they now it's not just Victor now, right? Like Julie's seen the man in yellow. People have seen the man in yellow.
So what you're saying is you don't think he needs the clothing to transform. He needs their teeth to transform, and the costumes are just so each entity is known by.
Maybe. That's a good theory. Maybe they need the tooth. Maybe he took one of Jim's teeth so he could appear as Jim to Ethan, right?
Don't go agreeing with people.
Maybe he needs the tooth. Maybe he doesn't need anything. He just takes I like the idea that he just takes the teeth as.
I wonder if this is a question that they would maybe answer. Do you think this is a good question that they might explain? Because I don't know, but this is I'm thinking maybe something I should try asking, and maybe in a way they can at least let us know if we're full of shit or not.
Like that, it's almost like voodoo that I have to have a piece of this person's clothing to appear as that person.
Yeah.
If I want to be AJ, I need that gray T-shirt he's wearing. I can't just
it's blue.
Make my whatever color it is. I can't just make myself right. So yes, Man in Yellow literally confirmed that he took Jim's tooth, but he didn't say. Oh yeah. By the way, Karen, he did. I remember that he confirmed that he took Jim's tooth. He didn't say why. Did he take Jim's tooth so that it enables him to appear as Jim? I don't know about that.
But why does he have his bag of teeth in the car then? If the teeth needs the teeth to transform, why would he just leave them in the glove box?
So that nobody finds them. So you yes, it's inconvenient, but you can't just walk around with a bag of teeth. It's suspicious.
Sarah's not going to search the room.
You never know. I kind of think that they're more like, why do serial killers keep souvenirs? Because they're creepy weirdos. I'm leaning right now that the teeth are there, and I'm leaning that this entity doesn't need a personal item to turn into you, but that she needed the yellow suit to appear in that persona to terrify Tabitha.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, you don't remember me yet? Damn it.
And it doesn't. Okay, well, let's go on. I want to say more about that conversation, but I'll wait till we get to it.
Yeah. All right. So she does go see Sarah, and Sarah's like, "Where were you? I have to know where you're at." I said last night, this scene played a little strange to me, and I know it's just supposed to be that she's like younger and she's trying to take care of her and make sure she's okay, but it just played weird to me, and I think it's just because I know the actress who plays Sophia isn't a kid, and I think that's why it felt weird, but I don't know. What did you guys think of this scene?
When she comes in with the clothes, I mean, I have thought for a while that Sarah might be the first person to figure her out.
I still think she's going to be.
I mean specifically like her being like, I need to know where you're at. Know you're say like her like being upset because she stayed at Colony House and didn't tell her was what.
Well, I mean, certainly if your roommate doesn't come home at night, wouldn't you be freaking out that they're outside? Everybody had to freak out when Jim didn't come home, right? Like, if you don't come home, your roommate would be freaking out that you're dead. Sarah, I mean, they're not best friends, but she's still concerned about another human life, right?
No, yeah, I get that. I agree. I'm just saying for some reason it played weird to me. And I think that the only thing I can figure is that's why it did, I think. Just because I'm looking at them and like it seems like she's talking to that like a 20-year-old and a 20-year-old. I think it's just like the way it looked. It just was something about it fell off, is what I'm saying. And I don't know if that's it or not.
I didn't read that.
Okay, that's fine. No, I just wondered if you guys did, since it did feel weird to me, but I don't know if that's probably why.
I thought the really important part of the scene is at the end of it, where when Sarah's like, we'll go try on clothes later. And when Sophia says, you're a good person, Sarah. And like, to me, that's so important. That's what Sarah needs to hear. Like, that's Sarah's great insecurity, that she's not a good person because she's done some really bad things. And like, that is like Sophia, like playing right up to her. Like, you're a good person. Like, I feel like that is to dispel, to reassure Sarah, to make Sarah like her, to dispel any suspicion Sarah might have about Sophia. That, right? Like, to me, that was like the really key part of this conversation.
Yeah,
she has said it to Sarah numerous times. She's been saying it to Sarah like over and over again.
I did think it was a little funny though that she's like, I can show you where all the good clothes are. Like, she said that to her before, like literally said almost the exact same thing and took her to get the dress the first time, and now she's like, I can do it again. I just thought that was a little funny, but yes, no, I'm saying you guys are right. I'm just saying it something about it fell off to me, and I think it's just the ages. I think that's why it did, and I don't know if that's the case or not. That's why I just wondered if it felt weird to anybody, but I think it was just me. So don't listen to me. It's just me.
You're weird, Jamie.
I know. He was there to hide them because they were.
They're having a Freddy Krueger conversation.
Okay, I was like, okay, it wasn't sure. But yeah, Sophia does give this whole thing about, I wanted new clothes, but then I realized they're dead people's clothes, and yeah. So yeah. Yeah, I know, Fletcher. I think it's not just like I said, I think it's because I just talked to her and it just, yeah. All right. So then at the peach truck, this is the scene with Victor in the peach truck. I liked this scene, most of it. Some of it was like just really, really sad, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Dieter. Yes, everybody like and subscribe, please. Hit the like button and we'll put you in the box. So in this scene, he takes Victor and Ethan to the peach truck, and he's like, this is how I survived. Yes, there's a map in the peach truck. I didn't get a picture of it though this time, I don't think, but I've seen it before there. He takes him into the peach truck and he says, the boy in white taught me 3 things. 1, I need to get food. I think that's the map there. And he showed me how to use a rock for a can opener, which actually was really smart. And I think that is a smart thing to do, and tell Ethan to give him the can opener.
Except that they have can openers now, but whatever.
Yes, yeah, I know. But I mean, for him to say this is what I have to do. The second thing is that he said you'll get lonely and you have to deal with that. We never find out what the third thing is, which is kind of annoying, but we never find out what the third thing is. Maybe it's just how to survive. But he says that this is what I thought was so sad when he's like, the worst part is when you get lonely. Everything's scary. You have to pretend you aren't alone. So I had to make friends with the things on the truck, like the walls and the floors and the boxes. I gave them names and talked to them. Like, that is like the most sad thing. Like, that, I was like that's heartbreaking, right? Like, it's
I guess
heartbreaking.
That is exactly Tom Hanks in Castaway inventing Wilson the volleyball.
Yeah.
I have never seen Castaway, so I don't know that. I mean, I know what Wilson is, but I feel like he did this for 40, well, maybe not for 40 years, but for like his whole childhood. I mean, it wasn't just like it was I'm talking to somebody because I'm bored. Isn't Castaway more like he's bored, so he made a friend? Not so much that like he's so lonely because he lost his whole family. I feel like it's different, but I don't know.
He has to live on a deserted island and everybody thinks he's dead and he almost dies multiple times and he's losing his shit. Yeah, he needs a friend.
I really, when he got those dolls, I really was waiting for Tabitha to go, oh no, not no more fucking dolls.
Yeah.
No more dolls. We don't like dolls. So yeah, he's like, you don't have to do that because I had an idea and I made these dolls and this one was my mother and this one was my sister. Put their clothes on them. I would talk to them, imagine what they'd say back, and I didn't feel as lonely. You can make them into your family. And he does say they cut him off, and I don't know if you guys heard it. I don't know if it's even important, but he said, I didn't find anything for your father, but we can make a scarecrow. And like, that was kind of, I thought was like what tipped Tabitha over when she's like, no, we're done.
He says make a scarecrow? I thought he just says we can make something.
No, he said scarecrow. I went back and looked to see. He says scarecrow, but it's like hard to hear because she starts talking and she's like, no, because he's talking about Jim, I think is what set her off, I thought. But yes, he does say scarecrow. I don't know why. That was a weird thing to say. But either way, they can make something for his father. And it also is sad, too, because it shows that Victor never really thought about his father. I mean, he was there with his mother and his sister alone for, I think, a long time before they were slaughtered. So I get it, but it's also kind of sad, right? Because he didn't think of his father.
I don't know, Jamie. I leap to say he didn't ever think of his father.
I'm not saying he didn't ever think of his father. I'm saying, I mean, I did say that, but that's not the way I meant it. I meant that, like, he didn't seem to be a part of his life. Like, he had already sort of, like, his life in this town was his mother and his sister. And yes, that's who he was there with for a while. He had learned that was his new life. So I get it. But I'm just saying, like, it was like Henry wasn't a part of his life anymore after he got there. And I just think it's sad.
Henry wasn't a part of this. And
he wasn't. That's what I'm saying.
Into ribbons either.
No, but it's just sad because, like, he never drew his father at all, like that. Because
his father wasn't there.
He only draws the town. He never has drawn his life before the town that we've seen.
You're right, but he says he draws things like to remember them. Like, does he not ever want to remember his father? That's my point.
But he's trying to. But I think Jamie,
he's specifically drawing the town. I get that.
He's trying to remember things in the town that are going to be important later. Like I feel like a lot of that is about. Like, as his mind was repressing all this trauma, he knew that he had to, like, get these memories down because they might be important in the future. Like, he's not drawing a picture of, like, the man in yellow eating his mother because he wants to remember that. It's because he thinks it's important, right?
Yeah. I also feel like him drawing it and then not looking at it was a way to help him through it, too. But I don't know. But anyway, Tabitha is, of course, like, no. We aren't doing this. She says, we're done. I'm never going to let you be alone. This is not going to happen. You're going to be okay. We're going to get out of here. And Victor's like, that's what my mother said too. Poor Victor.
I thought this was a nice emotional moment for Tabitha, like, trying to reassure her son, and like this frightens her probably more than it does Ethan, but I feel like it makes no logical sense for her to. She's agreed to it. Ethan is really not that visibly uncomfortable. I mean, is he uncomfortable? Yeah, but he's not like, right? Like Ethan is certainly able to tolerate more of this. And then she cuts him off right before he gets to number 3, which I feel like is maybe we're waiting for like the other shoe to drop on number 3 in the next 2 episodes, right? like she can't and then she goes back and forth, and then like in the next scene Ethan's like, oh, can I go to Colony House and visit Donna? And she's like, oh yeah, that's fine. And I'm like, I was sure that Ethan was really going to go to Colony House to like get more lessons from Victor.
I hadn't thought of that, but you're probably right. That never occurred to me. But you're probably right. But at this point, she's like, we're done. But you were right with what you said before too. I think it scares her, not so much Ethan.
Yeah.
Promising things she can't promise, just like Miranda did. Well,
You know,
Tabitha can.
The way Tabitha abruptly ended that whole thing, I was like, part of me wants Victor to be right. I want the show to end with Ethan by himself.
No. Bill. The Doll's Wake's better than
I don't disagree with that.
And Petty's right. It's not a real promise. She just wants Victor to shut up. I think because it's unbearable to her, also like she, as a mother, like we're talking about how sad it was that Victor saying this, how much sadder was it for Tabitha, right? To hear Victor recount what he went through.
Yeah. Well, there's more to that conversation later. For right now, I'll go to Henry.
Meanwhile, back at the diner.
Yes. Meanwhile, back at the diner, Henry wakes up when she drops the tray. He wakes up and sees, this kid.
He doesn't wake up.
I'm saying wake up.
He hallucinates. He hallucinates.
Yes, I'm saying he wakes up in quotes. He thinks he wakes up. He thinks it might be real. We don't know. But anyway, he comes to this alternate version of reality, whatever you want to say. And Victor's son, Sebastian, is there. And Victor is there as well. But Victor is not the same Victor. He's in a suit and tie and all doing well and all those great things. And he's like, tells him, stay with me. And he says, you're in a care facility. That the other place isn't real. It might not be easy for you to hear, but a long time ago, Miranda surprised you on your birthday, gave you 2 hits of acid. There was something wrong with the drugs and you had a bad reaction, and it's like you weren't there anymore. And you've been in this facility ever since. And he tells him about his son, and he also says that Eloise is getting on a plane. She's alive. She's a school teacher. Henry,
that's
at this
crazy.
point, I'm sure it can be real.
40-year bad trip.
Yeah, I don't know that you can.
It's ridiculous.
Coma that long, but the thing is, and I won't belabor it too much because I know you guys don't want to go into the deep stuff, but I will tell you because I think it's interesting. There are things in this room that are in Victor's house, such as the picture on the wall, the clock on the wall, which to me is indicating, because we compared it, it is the same stuff, which to me is indicating that the man in yellow / Sophia is like pulling these images out of his mind to create this. And that to me proves it's not real.
I agree. It's indicating that this is a hallucination or a delusion or whatever you want to call it.
Yes. Yeah. Because I found that interesting. Now, I didn't come up with that theory on my own. I saw some other people were saying it, but I did check that it is, real. Because this is supposed to be a facility that they wouldn't be there. All right. So he comes back and he's like, I gotta go. And he takes off. So yeah, let's though talk about this and about this hallucination, kind of how you feel about it, what you think. I do like seeing these scenes. I hope that at some point they show us Eloise, if not only for the reason of answering the question that people seem to think she's somebody else in the town that like left and came back or something and didn't have her memory. There's so many theories about Eloise, but there's a theory a lot of people think is that Eloise left the town when her mother tried to leave, like she actually went through the tree, and that she became somebody else and like forgot who she was, and then she came back to the town later as somebody else, like Abby, I think is who most people think. So yeah, I would like to see Eloise just to kind to bed.
Who do people think mostly?
Abby, which I don't think that's the case.
That doesn't make any
I'm just saying.
Listen, you know what? So what Jamie's saying is she wants to see them cast an older Eloise just so we can say, okay, that theory is dead.
Yes, exactly. So
I have a theory about Eloise.
Go ahead.
She was killed and eaten, and she's dead.
Yeah,
That's
my
my
theory too.
I don't think she was, just because he never found the body. Why not just say he found both of their bodies, if that's the case?
Well, he said he thinks this is what was left of her. I just took it that the idea was that she was so horrendously mutilated that he couldn't really tell, and he just thinks it was her.
Yeah.
But I know that, a lot of TV shows, no body, no dead. So I don't think that this. I look forward to you guys proving me wrong. I think she's just dead.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
I think so.
No, I just figured we might, but I do think that this would be a good opportunity to answer that for sure, by showing her. Whether or not that will happen, I don't know.
How would they show her if she's dead? How would they show her?
No, in this hallucination,
In his vision.
like what she looks like, just to know what she looks like.
Yeah, that's not. We all have our questions that we need answered, and that's not one.
No, I'm not saying we need it answered. I'm just saying then people will quit saying it. That's why I want to say it.
Okay, all right.
That's okay, Dieter. Have a good time at work. I hope you had fun not being at work for a little bit, but thanks for coming. All right. And Fletcher, by the way, to answer your earlier question, I haven't seen West ever answer. I know you put that in there. I'll have to ask him again.
I don't know if Wes is still here.
I don't know. He was there for a second and then disappeared. I don't know what's up with that, but maybe he had to go. All right. Oh, see, do you have any? You don't have anything else to say about the hallucination? I thought maybe you had something.
No, I mean, I like it a little better. Like last week, I felt really like, oh my god, I saw this on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. This is like, But now I'm like more. I'm over that now. I mean, I think it's a bad sign. I think Henry's not going to make it out of this season, and I just wonder what he's going to do.
He's going to try and kill Victor.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
Forcibly disconnect.
It's possible. But would he be able to do that? I don't know. I mean, I think he's going to jump. I think he's going to jump off the roof. I think Victor foreshadowed hard earlier in the season when he stood on the roof and talked about someone jumping off the roof. I think it foreshadowed hard that someone's going over the edge, and could be Henry. I also think it was the most ridiculous piece of medical advice from a supposedly trained professional because it was fake.
Well,
right? The whole thing is medically ludicrous, so I can't really because it's a hallucination.
Yeah, if it's a hallucination, you can't break the hallucination and not go back to the hallucination just by killing somebody or destroying yourself or whatever to get out of the hallucination. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. You also can't wake up out of a 40-year-old coma and just start talking.
No, he'd be so atrophied he wouldn't be able to move right. And
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. All right, so
but it's not real. So, but it seems real, right? It's been put in his head so that it seems so real.
Yes, but I definitely don't think it's real.
Hold on.
What? Why
would they show Henry? He has a grandson and is Victor's kid, and to have him kill Victor in Fromville because to enjoy his life. His real life in this world where he just woke up from a 40-year coma, he has to get rid of his anchor, and that's his anchor is Victor in his imaginary world.
Yeah, they have to make it worthwhile. It has to be like, wow, I have a grandson. My daughter's still alive. Like all these things to make him want to do that. Translated,
this is the Man in Yellow's fun way of getting people to kill each other. And that's the other thing too. I think the Man in Yellow, I really think he gets off on I think the fear. I was joking earlier, but I really starting to think that the fear makes the liver taste better. That's why he enjoys.
I mean, I do agree that the Man in Yellow gets off on the fear, and that's what this is about. And it's more about the torture Henry will go through in thinking about killing himself or a person, Victor or someone else, rather than the action of doing it, right? I also question whether the Man in Yellow really wants Victor dead, considering that Victor has been allowed to live. And those monsters probably could have killed Victor at any time in the last, when he was there for years and years and years by himself, right? Victor has been really allowed to live, I think.
Well, because there's probably no fun killing Victor. But if there's no Victor, there's nobody there.
There's no entertainment at all, right? Yeah, that's fair.
the thing is we don't know that Victor's the anchor, though. What if the anchor's himself? Like Karen said about the roof, maybe
I
he
think
has
he
to
could kill
analyze
himself.
himself.
And I think, I think he, I mean, she said you have to break the, connection, you have to break the anchor. She didn't say like figure out who is your constant and kill them, right? It's going to be how Henry interprets this, and I think, I mean, I look, he's not.
I wanted to ask.
I mean, there are people who think that the two of them might die this season, and like it's a real possibility. I just personally, it's not my own personal favorite theory right now.
I did want to ask you guys though, do you think that this is what happened to Abby? I mean, do you think it's the same thing? Because we don't know, but to me, it could have been. As I said before, I'm not sure why they would do it 2 times in a cycle, but it does seem like it could be what happened to her. Do you think it is? Just
wait, what?
That what happened to Abby when Abby started shooting people? Like everybody, not everybody, but most people have said they thought that's where this was going with Henry. So I'm saying, like, do you think this is what happened to Abby?
Yes, I think Abby. I think she was saying something like it's not real. They won't really be dead.
She was. Yeah. She was. It also makes me wonder too, though, if Victor is the anchor. Like, was she always intending to shoot Ellis, though? Like, they made it like she was just randomly shooting people, but I was thinking about it last night, and I'm like, was she trying to kill Ellis? Like, maybe she was always headed for Ellis, right? Like, if that's what it is. Or maybe she was going to shoot herself at the end. I don't know, but it's just interesting.
Do you think that Victor is the anchor? I mean, Henry went and cried at Miranda's grave and spoke to Miranda, and like Miranda is Miranda the anchor in this thing? And
how does he sever that connection though?
But
I don't know, Jamie. Like, who knows, right? But maybe he kills himself at her grave. Maybe he digs up her body and everybody's horrified. Maybe, like, I don't know, right? But like, I'm not 100% certain that anchor equals Victor yet. I might be more certain in the first scene of next episode. Who knows? This is just me personally. I'm not trying to like.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that he's the anchor. I just was thinking about that with the whole Abby thing.
I am often wrong, right? I'm often wrong. Actually, sometimes I'm right, but I was wrong all the time I was wrong for like 8 years on Lost, and I had to like admit to AJ. The hardest thing I ever did was admit to AJ when I was wrong.
I don't agree that people think Mananielle was in physical form and messed with Tabby and with her blood. It was all, or Abby. I think he means Abby. It was all through Abby's mind. Yeah, I don't know that I think she was there physically either. Yeah, I don't know. All right. So then we have this scene, and you kind of talked about this earlier. This is about, Fatima's agency and her saying, what if this is a good thing that I saved Kenny? If I can make what happened to me mean something, why would I not do it? Why would I not use it? Because she's saying what you're worried about, which I assume her saying that means that she thinks she's turning into something. That could be going to happen anyway. Like, she at least wants something good to come out of it. And he does try to, go against that. And she's like, you don't know how I feel. You're not the one who had a monster baby. All that good stuff. So, yeah. Comments. Everybody got quiet.
She was right. Moving on.
Right.
There's not really much to talk about there.
She was right. And I mean, I'm a little, the way she talks about it, like, if I can make this mean something, like, I mean, save people.
I don't know if she says mean
something. I think she does say that, but like saving people is I don't know why this is even a discussion, except for the part where is saving people going to shorten her own life? Is there a risk to her life in saving people? Okay, I get that discussion, right? But that's not really how it was articulated.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't know because, like Marielle said, it could just be a side effect that goes away. We don't know. Fletcher wants your opinion on the drawings, AJ. We won't go too.
They're just drawing. Fletcher's smoking shit.
No, because he's saying that it.
No, I know what I understand what he's saying.
It does kind of look like the picture she posted of her with the egg that the actors posted. It does kind of look like it could be that could be what it is. I do agree. I don't know that it is, but yeah. Either way, we're there from the beginning. You are correct.
Say Fletcher's. I'm always just gonna say Fletcher's wrong no matter what. It doesn't matter.
You're funny. All right. So then we have Christy and Marielle, and this is where she, says again, this is where she says she's my patient. And it's not for safety.
And Marielle says, let me know if you need any more sheets washed. Like she's treating her just like she doesn't know, right? Like that was pretty harsh, but she's kind of right? Like,
yeah,
like
she's right.
You're unwilling to consult with the other person with any training, and you're also treating your loved one like pretty rudely.
I'm telling you, she's gone to the school of Boyd, and it's a wrap.
Yeah, she kind of has.
Yeah. All right. So then we have the scene of Jade figuring out what he thinks is the answer because he remembers the hole in the top of the cave. Which I'm still not sure how a cave has a hole in the top, but that's, whenever issue.
Why not? Why can't have a hole in the top?
Yeah.
Where it caved in. It's called a cave-in for a reason.
Yeah, but I've never seen a cave that literally has a hole in the top.
You've never been in a cave that has hole. You need to go to more caves. That's all I'm saying.
I've not been in tons of holes. Or tons of holes. I've not been in tons of holes. I've not been in tons of I haven't been in tons of holes either, but I haven't been in tons of caves.
I'm not a spelunker, but I think cave systems can have multiple openings, but this looks more like a cave in.
But yeah,
it just is. As someone is saying, I wouldn't overthink it. It is what it is. I'm not sure which exact scene Petty is talking about, but it applies to pretty much every scene.
Yeah, it does. It does. But yeah, he gets the idea that there's a hole in the roof where the roots of the tree grew. So this is where he's like, there was a hole. There isn't a hole now, but there was a hole. We can put it back. Is kind of the point. And we did talk about last night, instead of pulling the tree up, could they just dig under the tree? I don't know if you can dig under a tree, so I don't have an answer to that, but that was what some people were coming up with. Would that be a better plan?
Well, this plan is kind of bonkers. And
yes,
there are a lot of so this plan relies on some people go in through the regular entrance to the cave, and they have to time it all perfectly so that they arrive in the chamber and grab the bones just as the tree is ripped out, and then they're gonna people pull up with ropes or whatever, right? And I get why Boyd is that plan is nuts and it'll never work, but why does they rip the tree out? Why can't they just dig a hole right next to the tree? And
well, they can't dig a hole next to the tree because you can't dig through the rock of a cave. If you can't dig through rock of a cave, you would cause a cave in. Could you dig through where that hole was? Maybe, but to just say you dig down.
He thinks the tree grew over the hole.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the story.
Yes, but could you dig under it? I don't know, possibly. But here's my question, though, for you guys, because some people had said, I don't remember who said it. Somebody said it. You're right that for them to time this seems kind of crazy, but why do they have to even do the tree at night? Why can't they just do it during the day? If they can't come out of the caves during the day because it's daylight and they can't be in the daylight, then why do they have to do it at the same time? Why not just take the tree out first to make sure there is an exit and then go down?
I think it would make so much noise that it would alert the monsters that there's some kind of shenanigans going on in the bone chamber.
Yeah, but if they can't come out during the day, what would it matter? They'd
be underground. They'd run right to the bones and be like, "Don't come down here and grab our bones."
Okay, that's true. That might make sense.
But there's another more important thing. Even if they manage to rip the tree out, guess what? There isn't going to be a hole under the tree because it's moving. Just ask Victor.
Because the trees move.
Well, some trees are moving. Yes, he did say the perimeter trees were moving.
Somebody said something about that earlier.
So you're saying it might not be right over the hole? I don't know. The plan was kind of.
Yeah, that's what Alpha Fold said. Victor mentions the trees are moving in season 1, so the will they affect their plans. I had not thought about that, but that is definitely.
I don't know that we will see this plan being enacted. I think this plan is going to be workshopped to be a better plan. I just don't know that we're going to see them like pulling a tree. Like, I don't know. I think what was important here was Boyd's complete dismissal of the plan, right?
Yeah.
No ability to be like, okay, that's not really a great plan, but there's some elements here that make a little sense, right? Like, you found a second entrance. That's good. Good work, Jade.
Yeah, because he's like, we can't do this without a second entrance. So Jade's like, I found a second entrance, and he's like, nope. Now we need a plan B. So
if they even try this plan, I think this is how it goes. They hook up the van and what other vehicles still have tires to it, and they wrap chains around it and everything. And they're like room, and the bumper comes flying off of one car. The motor fucking explodes, and they go, well, that didn't work.
That's kind of what Boyd was saying. We don't know it's gonna work.
Well, but
yeah.
Boyd didn't say we don't know it's going to work. Boyd was like, 100%, we're not doing that. It'll never work. You're stupid.
No, he does say something like, what happens if the chain breaks? What happens if
he did? Yes, he did. He did.
Already won't scene, but
you're right. Yes. He did raise a lot of objections, but it was a lot of
They were valid objections, though.
They were.
Yes, but they came across as naysaying and not as like, okay,
I agree with that.
Right? And he's like, we need a plan B. You sit here and think of a plan B, right?
Yeah,
and
but he's like, you said the whole time, you said the plan didn't work because we didn't have a way out. Now we have a way out. Now you want another plan. It's like, Boyd is going to find fault no matter what it is. Yeah, Boyd only agrees with his own ideas. You're right. He does.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Yeah. Either way, I think this is an awful plan. I think the boy in white says don't cut down the tree. You don't cut down or pull out the tree.
Again, but the only one that knows that is Victor.
They don't know that, Jamie. They're not like
no, but I'm saying it's a bad plan and it's going to go bad. You're right. They don't know that, but I'm saying that's why I'm saying I think this is a bad plan and it's going to go wrong.
So sometimes when characters are annoying and difficult, I kind of blame the writers but in this case, Boyd's being annoying and difficult, and it makes total sense to me.
Yes, if it's in the confines of the character, it's fine.
Like, I'm annoyed at him, but it totally makes sense that he's behaving like this.
Yes, I would agree with that. All right, so before we actually have the scene that we were talking about, we have the scene with Boyd finding out that someone's been in his room and that the suit is gone. He knows that somebody's been there. I mean, you can tell, like, she clearly made it look like somebody was in there. He asks what happened to the suit. He's upset it's gone. He's worried about it. Jade's like, forget the suit, and then they never go back to that. So that part kind of was a little irritating there because they don't even finish that worry. And I question, are they never going to go back to that? Like, or are they going to think about it later? I don't know.
I mean, presumably, maybe Tabitha will come back and say, "Oh my God, I saw that man in yellow from the drawings,"
and then he'll be like, "The suit disappeared. That's why."
I mean, maybe Julie never mentioned that she saw him.
Yeah. Well, Tabitha definitely was in the room when they were talking about the whole man in yellow thing. So I mean, she knows about the man in yellow, but yes,
she does.
Never said anything. Okay, so this is where Jade comes in and he's like, I got a plan. And he takes him out to the bottle tree, and we already talked about that. Tabby will pop up when they're about to take out the tree and say, oh my God, no. She might.
Yeah.
She might.
Yeah.
All right, so Sophia comes into the Matthews house. What'd you think about her sniffing the mug? Like, what the fuck is that about?
Although, yeah.
I thought sniff the egg too.
Well, but that was an egg. This is a mug.
It was just there for her to be creepy, I think. I don't really think I think like she's just a creepy weirdo, right?
Yeah, but maybe it was Tabby's mug and she likes the smell of Tabby because Tabby was her friend.
It
or the
does
closest
seem
the friend she
there
ever
was
had.
something potentially between whoever he is and Tabby. Oh, sorry, I'm stretching my legs as I'm talking.
Well, because she's the person, she comes back time after time after time. The other people don't, right? Like, Tabby, he's like, oh, you're the closest thing I have to your friend. Because everybody else is new in the cycle. Jade and Tabby. Everybody else is new, right?
Yeah. To be fair, she doesn't go to Jade's house. She goes to Tabby's house, though. So she also
because she wanted the drawings.
Because she has a plan for Tabby.
Yes. She takes the drawings.
I would like to point out Ethan drew Donna in yellow.
He also drew Tian Shen yellow too.
Donna's gonna be the man in yellow.
Tian Shen's in yellow too.
There you go.
Maybe he has limited
green. That's green. That's yellow hair. So you are wrong.
When you move the paper, she's wearing yellow. Well, you can't move the paper, but when Sophia moves the paper,
it looks like lime green. It looks
like whatever.
I'm just saying. But yeah, she takes the drawings. The point is, she takes the drawings. We discussed this. I was like, didn't realize why because I was dumb and missed it. But she takes the drawings because of the fact she wants Tabitha to know she broke in her house, or that somebody broke in her house. I mean, the man in yellow broke in her house, whatever. But that would be why she took them.
Okay, broke in, entered. The door. They all keep their doors locked.
Right? Semantics, but yes, she entered the house to steal the pictures. All right. So then we go back. Okay, Fletcher's talking about Ethan not drawing himself, and I keep saying I don't think, regardless,
he's being an ass.
No, I know, because he's saying he's the man in yellow. But listen, regardless of whether he's the man in yellow, he would not have drawn himself because he says that he's drawing people to remember them. He would not draw himself. He doesn't need to remember himself.
Actually, he did draw himself.
Where? Oh, wait. You know what?
He drew the family. He drew the family.
He drew the whole family.
Dad, Mom, Julie. No, Ethan.
Okay, but he has made other drawings. That's not the only drawing we've ever seen him make of his family.
Isn't that Ethan on the side there?
Drawings. No, making these drawings in this episode where he was drawing people to remember, there is no Ethan. Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So she snatches them up. I really don't understand what the point was of taking the pictures and hanging them on the RV, other than to be like, "Oh, I was in your house."
Creepy.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, the pictures remember. The pictures don't need to remember himself, was my point with all that. Right. Okay. Peachy truck. Back at the Peachy truck.
Oh my God, we're still at the Peach truck?
Yeah, we're about 3/4 through. Let me bring up Alice's comment.
Let's go quicker.
Okay, we will go quicker, but let's bring up the Lake of Tears is actually under the cave system. Finding the lake is important. They need to bring canoes down there, then flood the cave somehow to reach the ceiling and exit. I just want to bring that up because I know that's really not something about the episode we're not going to get to talk about, but there are actually quite a few people that were saying this. I know earlier Jen was saying about the Lake of Tears, thinks it's they need to take the bones to the Lake of Tears, and they're saying that the lake is in the caves. Fletcher said that. What do you guys think about the lake being down there? I just was curious what you thought.
It's possible, but I still say the Lake of Tears is not an actual fucking lake.
I agree. I don't think it's a lake. I think this
it's a metaphor.
Right, fair. Okay, so Peach Truck. So this scene is about her telling Victor and Ethan that Miranda didn't win because she didn't have the memory she has now because of Miranda, and that things are, different. And that she tells Victor she knows how hard Miranda tried and how much his mother loved her because she feels it. And that because of her mother, he gets to go home. I do like this scene where she says, I didn't just come back to free the children. I came back for you, Victor. And she says, you guys are going to not draw ever again these pictures because you're not going to be left here alone, that I'm never going to leave you alone again. And so she's like kind of adopting him, not really, but you know what I mean. She's like, neither of you are going to be alone. I'm going to save you both. I like the scene. I think that it was sweet. I don't always like Tabitha, but I did like
I agree with you. It was a lovely sentimental moment, and I agree with whoever said, was it Petty who said she's making promises she can't keep, just like Miranda did, and she wants to believe this, right? But it's naive to think that she could, saying it makes it so, right?
That's true. That is true. Although we don't know, saying things may make them so in this town. Consider what we were talking about with Boyd, with Donna and everything. We don't know. All right. So anyway, Victor seems to accept that. And yeah, she's like, I'm going to save both of you. Then we have the whole thing with the plan. This is where we're going to skip ahead here because we already talked about the plan, and that's not a good idea. But yeah, Boyd wants to, or not Boyd, Jade wants to pull out the tree by attaching the chains, use the trees as leverage. That's his plan. Pop it out like a cork. And Boyd is like, yeah, a million things could go wrong. Give me a plan B. And I love, he goes, landscaping is not a plan.
That was pretty funny.
Dick thing to say.
That was a funny line, though.
It was a great line.
It was, but I mean,
yeah. All right. So then they go away.
He says, I can't lead if I can't, like, trust what I see. Like, you can't lead if you treat everyone like shit all the time.
There's that too. There's that too. All right. So they leave, and then he hears Kenny calling, and he watches Kenny get shot. Now, I, for like a fraction of a second, was like, what the hell? But then as soon as you see other people, you know, absolutely it's a hallucination. But I don't know that I feel like as soon as I saw Kenny was dead, I was like, no, this isn't real. Like, I think we.
Well, I mean, for me, it was I knew immediately it was a hallucination because Kenny calls from behind him, and then he steps out from like across from him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I was pretty. I thought it was pretty obvious that it was.
Yeah, it was, but
but I agree. For a fraction of a second, it was very shocking. For a nanosecond.
I like that, Fletcher. Dude is always tripping, and Boyd doesn't need mushrooms. He is.
Yeah.
All right. So he watches Kenny die, and then he sees everybody, not everybody else, but Jade, Tabitha, Donna dead. And then he sees his wife over Ellis, and then she opens her mouth and blood pours out. Now, I think it's safe to say that obviously part of this is his trauma, but I think a big part of this is that he has this fear he's going to get everybody killed. And that's why he's seeing specifically this. And yeah.
You know what? All I got to say is I hope Boyd doesn't die, because if Boyd dies, there's going to be some scary shit coming out of his fear. There's going to be some forest monsters nobody's going to want to mess with.
Yeah. You know what? You know what though, Fletcher? I know this isn't what you were talking about, but did make me think if the forest manifests their fears, it could also be like maybe Abby had the fear of her like everybody dying before she caused it. But I mean, like, that's
sure.
Kind of, I don't know. I'm just thinking off the top of my head.
Sure.
Saying
why not? Yeah.
But either way, he's like, "What do you want from me?" Like screaming at it, like he's going to get an answer.
Yeah.
And then we have Henry, who goes to talk to his wife. This was very sad. He is trying to, figure out what to do. He's, asking his wife for help. And then this is the scene we sort of touched on before, where the doctor tells him that this delusion, he's been in it too long, and the only way that he can get out of the delusion is to destroy the anchor, disconnect from the anchor, whatever she says. That's how he is going to get into the real world, that she's saying, and out of this delusion. Also, the grandson is playing that song on the phone, and I know whenever he starts to like fade back or whatever, he's like, I lost the that
was weird, right?
Lost the internet. Yeah.
The delusion fades. Victor says what happened, or someone says what happened, and Sebastian says, I lost my signal. Yeah, like the music stopped because he didn't have Wi-Fi at that moment or whatever. So yeah, that was kind of cool the way they did that. But yeah, so he wants to. Did they mention Miranda? I don't think they mentioned Miranda, other than in the last scene, he said that Miranda gave him the acid. I think that's the only part that mentioned Miranda. Yeah. In fact, is she dead? Like, why is she not present when her husband is waking up out of his coma? Right? Like, Victor's there at the bedside. Why would Miranda not be there? Did she like I'm going too deep here, but is she in a coma also from the acid? Did the acid kill her? Like, who knows? Like, that's not what this delusion is about, but she's not there.
Yeah,
People
I
can-
kind of
okay,
assumed
hold
she
on.
was dead or she would be.
Gonna hit this real quick.
No, it's not the ballerina.
People
It
can
is not
say
the
this all they want. It is two different actresses.
It is. It is not the ballerina. I mean, somebody questioned, could they have tried to get that actress and couldn't? It's always a possibility. But even if it was, that to me would just be more proof that it was fake. So, but yeah, it's not. No, I know. That's fine. I'm just
Yes,
saying it.
you bad. Bad Fletch.
No, but no, it's not. It's not the same actress. She does look similar. I'll give you that.
Erin would lose her fucking mind if the doctor turned out to be a ballerina.
Like,
Erin hated the ballerina.
I might have to stop watching the show. If that ballerina ever comes back, I might have to stop watching.
The doctor starts dancing around. Karen's gonna lose it.
You know what I did forget to do? I did forget to look in the diner to look for a picture to see if that ballerina it was in there, Jason. I completely forgot about it. We were talking about apparently they showed the ballerina again in with the stuff, like the one they showed Sophia messing with, but I did not see it and I meant to look for it and I forgot. I know you guys don't care. I'm just bringing it up. So yeah, Henry he doesn't know what to do. He's like, bring it back. He doesn't know how to forcibly disconnect. She had said he has to destroy the anchor. I think is what she said, something to that effect. So yeah, he's got to break the delusion. Then we go back to Fatima, and this is where she's asking Marielle what they could try to use, whatever this thing is, the power she's got, what they could do. And Christy stops her again and pulls her away. She's like, I'm not going to risk her life. But more than that, the important part of this conversation is where she tells her that her blood pressure and heart rate is so low, she should be dead. So she's definitely changing. I mean, is she becoming a monster? Is she becoming the kimono woman? I don't know, but something's going on with her.
The golem.
Maybe she's becoming a golem. Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe she can somehow use the golem to help her. Who knows? But yeah, something is going on. Yeah. I'm just going by what she says, Fletch. I don't know. I mean, something's up that's gone wrong with her. I mean, who knows? Maybe she's just going to like turn into a zombie and not any of these things. I don't know. Ow. What the hell did I do? There was a nail or something under my deck. That hurt. Oh, okay. You're just being sarcastic now. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So back to Tabitha and Ethan. He has to go see Donna. You're right. He's probably going to go see Victor, which I did not think of. But she lets him go. And then she goes in the house and she hears the phone ring. And it's Thomas, a.k.a. the man in yellow, who says, if you don't come to the RV, I'm going to hurt Julie and Ethan. So, of course, she's going to go. And, of course, she's stupid and tells nobody because she should have told somebody where she was going, but she does not. Because he didn't say don't tell anybody. He just said come, right? No, never did.
Yeah, I think when you go to meet your fake dead son, you should tell someone where you're going, right? Like, really.
Maybe she didn't. Maybe it was off camera.
Maybe. In my old office, we had this board on the wall, and you had to put, like, your magnet with your name. It was map of the world, and you had to put, like, your magnet where you are so people knew where everybody is. And I feel like Fromville needs a, like, map. Could Jade put his map on the wall with some push pins so people could put their location?
Yeah.
Would stop a lot of, like, wondering.
Could solve some problems.
By your theory, Fletch, he killed his daddy, so shush.
We'll get to that. I think this episode proves without a doubt to me it's not Ethan. I mean, I think that's what this episode proves.
The man in yellow is not Ethan? Well, I mean, I've always believed that.
No, I know. But when we're almost there and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so Kotri here is following him around. And this is where he tells Boyd, you are never going to accept a plan, no matter what, because you're trying to save everybody. And it's not about saving everybody. It's about saving as many as you can. And that, yeah, you're probably going to lose some people, but you might save even more. And then he says, so suck it up, make a choice, and live with it. I like Kotri in here. Do you guys think, I should say, everybody knows what I think because I'm starting to think this too, but do you think Kotri is Kotri? I'm at the point I do think that it's probably his consciousness because I'm starting to believe Marielle after everything we've seen since then, as much as I don't like Marielle and want to believe her. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think it's actually him?
What do you mean you don't want to believe Marielle? What are you talking about?
No, I'm just saying because I don't like Marielle, but her whole thing about the souls being trapped in that makes me think there's a good chance it really is him at this point.
Oh, I don't know. Marielle says that, but I also feel like she's kind of a non-believer. Like, is Kotri a representation of like Boyd's inner monologue, right? And he's just seeing.
There were some things Kotri did not seem to know that Boyd knew. That's what makes me think that he probably isn't part of Boyd. Because they always do the opposite, where the person only knows what that person knows, but they kind of went the opposite way with this, which makes me think it might be him.
I know. The thing about
I think it's Kotri. I think it's whatever. I think Jim, Kotri, Tom, there's something.
You think they're their real selves and they're not an evil manifestation?
I do think whatever he is, he seems to be trying to help Boyd because, well, though that's not entirely true. If I'm saying this is a bad plan and this is going to go bad, it's him telling him to go through with it bad. That could be bad advice, but
He's telling him he didn't say to go through with the tree. He said go through with sending people down to the caves, even if some die.
Yes, yeah, he didn't say this is a good plan. Stop objecting. He just said like
that's true. But I do think he seems like he's trying to help. So I do think it's a positive thing. I don't think that he's evil. All right.
I mean, okay. No, I mean, we've talked about Kotri a lot over the years, so I don't need to reiterate.
Yeah. Well, up until this season, I didn't think it was Kotri, but because of the whole thing with Donna and everything, I'm starting to think that he doesn't know everything Boyd does. Therefore, I don't think that it's part of Boyd. That's my personal opinion. All right. So now we have Tabitha going to the RV. The man in yellow is happy she came, didn't know if she would, and says, do you know who I am? Oh, you haven't remembered that part yet. So clearly she's somebody he knows. That's a given. So a couple things that I think are important with this. One, he says, Jim died where you're standing. He was so brave. I really liked him. I kept one of his teeth. Okay, this to me, now whether this is the case or it's just to scare her, I don't know. But this to me is implying that he was Jim.
Oh,
that's what the teeth thing to me means. It means I was Jim when I talked to Ethan, and that he's trying to find the Lake of Tears and is using Ethan to do it. That's what I thought it was implying. I do agree it doesn't seem like he was Jim in that scene, though. So I don't know that I'm 100% on that, but I'm just saying that's what it seems to be implying to me.
Okay.
I think he just said, hey, I have his tooth.
Yeah.
It was awkward, to say the least.
When I saw that scene, while it did seem to be really Jim, I thought, how can it be? Is this like, some thing else happening here with Jim presenting itself to Ethan here? I get what you mean with the teeth. I personally don't think that he needs the teeth to turn into the people, but I think he just collects the teeth because he's a freak. But you could totally be right. I have no evidence to prove or disprove either way, right?
Yeah, no, I have no evidence to prove either. I just thought that that's what that was maybe implying, but I don't know that it necessarily does. It just could. I want to bring up Fletcher saying we used to sing them lullabies. That's a hell of a song Jade sure can play, and then he's humming a melody. So Fletcher is saying his theory is, which I've not heard him say this theory yet, but maybe he has. His theory is that the man in yellow is the 8th child that wasn't sacrificed. So the Ankui kid. I guess you're saying he's the grown Ankui kid. Is that what you're saying? That's an interesting thought.
Hey,
I don't think that's right, but it's an interesting
pick a
thought.
lane, man. Is he Ethan or is he the child that didn't get sacrificed?
Well, here's the thing.
Pick a lane. Come on.
There's this whole thing where he says, I didn't bring you to kill you. We've been through so much together. You're as close as a friend as I ever had. You and Jade are doing so well this time. I wouldn't dream of killing you, not yet. And he says, you're about to do something you've never done before. We've played this game so many times, and the notion of you digging up the bones, you may have finally found the key to setting the children free and bringing your own children home. Or you could be about to unleash the type of suffering you can't even begin to imagine. And then he misses her. Now, here's what I have to say, Fletcher. Now that we're here, I do not think that her kid, whether it's the kid that was sacrificed or whether it's Ethan, would touch her face like this, kiss her hand. It's weird. Now, I'm not saying that it necessarily means anything. I mean, it's not exactly a sexual thing, and I'm not saying it is, but it does imply potentially that it could have been somebody who cared about her, who had a crush on her, that was with her. I don't know, but it does not seem like something your kid would do. Am I wrong?
In that case, I can't wait to talk about Lestat tomorrow night.
Well, that's a whole nother show, and yes, I have lots of issues with that.
I mean, I, Jamie, think that touching the face and kissing the hand, it's a very creepy, we see so many, it's a creepy way of a man threatening a woman that we see in other types of programs, right? I mean, that's, to me, that was.
No, and you're right, Fletcher. I'm not saying it's sexual. I'm just saying it doesn't seem like a way that a child would act with his mother, is what I'm saying. Not that it means anything or it's more than anything. I don't know. It, to me, does not look like the way your kid would act to you. It's weird. It makes it even more creepy. I mean, it could just be making it even more creepy, yeah. But I don't think it's Ethan. I do not think it's
your evil kid that you sacrificed for eternal life.
Yeah. I don't know. It's either way. Yes, it's cringe. It's cringe either way. But yeah, I mean, it could be somebody that she slept with. Who the hell knows? I'm just saying. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying it could be just about anybody, but I don't think it's Ethan. I think this proves to me it's not Ethan.
I'm not sure. I think it's anybody than a evil presence that has this.
Well, somebody she knew. He says he knew her. She just hasn't remembered.
Yeah, but I mean, for all the
last cycle, in the previous cycle, he was the man in yellow. It's the thing she needs to remember is Man in Yellow eating her in her final death throes.
I think the Man in Yellow was con
I think she was already dead.
To this concept of eternal life, but lied what it cost them. Yes, I think he's.
Yes,
absolutely. What I'm saying is that's what she should remember him from.
Yes, but I'm taking this to mean he was some. Well, yeah, I guess her knowing him, it could be knowing him in that way too. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that.
He says you're the closest thing I ever had to a friend.
Yeah.
Closest person I ever had to a friend. And he really liked Jim, and he's so excited that her and Jade are getting so close.
But maybe not. He's like, and you might be fucking it all up. I think he's trying to scare her. I think he might be trying to scare her away from the bones.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. You don't know which way it's, like he said, he goes, you guys could be right. Digging up those bones could send you home, or bring you more fears than you've ever realized.
I mean, I think he's excited they're getting close because it will be that much more devastating to fail, right? A new way that they can fail. And it opens up new possibilities for him to feed on their fear and suffering, right?
I think it'll be interesting as we learn more about the Man in Yellow, simply because he's a weird character. Because, which is why I've always said that, when he eats them, the more fear they have in them, the better they taste or something. Because, he likes the machinations. He likes watching everybody, turning on each other and everything, but he's also excited by them trying to solve the mystery. So it's interesting, and I can't wait to see how it turns out. And I just want to bring this up real quick.
No,
I gotta yell at Fletch again real quick. It wasn't Jim. It was the man in yellow to get them to bring back the giant dolls to haunt them. He never told him to go to the settlement to that lake. He told him to find the Lake of Tears. He didn't know Ethan was going to say, "Hey, there's a lake at the settlement."
Yeah, that I agree with. But yeah, I don't know. I do want to know what it was that Doug, the melody Doug hummed, but we don't know, Fletcher. We don't. The truth is, we don't know. But you know what? It could have also been the lullaby. But even if it was a lullaby, that doesn't prove anything, because he could have done that just to be like cruel, because he's saying that's why Jim died, because you figured it out.
It could also be random creepy humming.
It could be.
Yeah, I think without 100% confirmation on something that happens on the show, it's probably the wrong choice of words to say this proves.
Well, yeah, no, you're right. Proves in our mind. It doesn't mean it proves.
And I got one more that I have to talk about before we go off. It has nothing to do with anything else, but this made me laugh really fucking hard, and I want this to happen now. So call the writers and tell them to do this. Imagine you take the bones to the Lake of Tears. You get nightmarish skeletons attacking you in the next cycle. I want to see that. When I first read that, I lost it.
That would be good. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we have any more things we wanted to put up here. Oh, we missed that before West. Sorry, West. Kenny getting shot, even though I knew it was a vision, still had bad feelings seeing Kenny die. Yes.
Yeah.
I did not like seeing Kenny die. But I think we knew that it wasn't real. Okay. This is all about Henry killing Victor potentially. We talked about that. The ballerina, we talked about that. Kenny's the voice of reason, not Boyd. This is very true. Very, very true. Kimberly had said, I think there'll be some connection with the Golem and the whole thing with the monsters, and that the Golem is going to transform her into something else. I hope the Golem has a point. That's all I have to say, is I hope the Golem has a point. Definitely going to be a deeper level under the cave. The bones will end up being a lost cork.
The lost cork. I thought exactly of that when he said a cork. I'm like, oh, Lost Island had a cork.
Yeah. Okay, and then we talked about that. I was just seeing what else. I honestly think he was originally obsessed with Tabby in the village, but she was happy with Jade, and his disgusting obsession led him to being a traitor. Now he gets to play with Tabby forever, maybe.
That's creepy.
Yeah, make sure you guys check out the Fromaholics channel that Dieter and Fletcher have with their theories. Yeah. Either way, the whole scene was creepy. So yeah, predictions next week. Anything you want to add?
It's so hard to predict what might happen on this show.
Yeah.
And we kind of mostly a lot of, okay, I shouldn't say most people, a lot of people who frequent this chat like think we're going to have some deaths, right? I think we need a thinning, as Jamie calls it, thinning of the herd, but it's also kind of time, right? Like there's too much plot armor happening. I think
story walking. Yes, we need story walking. Sorry.
Oh yeah. The story walking has been a complete it's barely happened at all. We were so excited when we saw like the last episode of season 3, right? And then we've gotten like almost no. Julie Shore gave up quickly, didn't she?
Yeah, which is so annoying. So annoying. Yeah, I thought the story walking is the most interesting thing.
Randall's a party pooper.
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought it was the most interesting thing, and then they dropped it. So I'm like, yeah.
All right.
Well.
All right, guys.
Fun talking to y'all, but I gotta go to work.
Left. Hopefully we will see you guys tomorrow night at 10 Eastern. For Fandom Access, we have Lestat, we have Widow's Bay, we have what else do we? And that's for Widow's Bay episode 9, not the finale. And then we have what?
It's the finale of Widow's Bay?
No.
No, I said that's episode.
Widow's Bay 9, Lestat 2, the Star City 4.
And Spider Noir.
And the end of Spider Noir. And you guys have, you're done with For All Mankind. Also, the other thing I was going to say that I forgot about, I didn't look up the name of his character. I didn't want to take us the wrong thing. Hold on. I believe tomorrow, setting up a time.
Like you're no fun.
But this week, possibly tomorrow, I'm speaking with Lucas Haas, who played Winston on Spider Noir. So if anybody has any questions for him, you can put them in the submit questions part of our Discord. If you're not a member of our Discord, please make sure you do join. You can submit questions as well for the From showrunners. That interview will be out probably after the finale. I'm still trying to get him on the show. Jamie McGuire is going to be on our show, plays Smiley. He'll be coming soon. So make sure you all stay tuned for that. And the second part of Julia's interview will also be coming soon. So yeah, lots of stuff. And then tomorrow night after Fandom Access, we'll have our watch party for Widow's Bay finale in Discord. And then Thursday, we have our Widow's Bay, again, the watch party, and then live stream for Widow's Bay.
Okay.
So, all that stuff this week. And
the JJJ interview, that is going to, you said you're going to do that tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
But,
yes.
But you have not been able to get them live on this show yet.
Not yet. I'm going to mention it, but not yet. This is part of the junket. So unfortunately, it's a short interview, but it's better than nothing. So if you have some questions that they can answer, don't send me crazy questions they can't answer because I won't be able to ask them. But if you have some good questions, send them my way, and we'll see if I'm going to try to pull a couple from the chat. But that's tomorrow, and then that'll go up. Like I said, that probably won't be up till after the finale. It depends what I ask. I gotta see. But
okay.
All right, guys.
All right, folks.
Thank you so much.
Hi, gang. Great to see everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go.
Yes, and join our Discord. We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Night, all.